that wasn't your fault, then you may need legal representation. And if you call the number on your screen now, you can be connected to an attorney who can tell you just how much your case could be worth for free. And for a limited time, if you call now, you can get this elegant, luxurious gold watch with the money from your own case. To be clear, not for me. This is my watch. I own it, and I like it a lot. You can't have it. But if you call and win your case and the money is right, you can buy one of these watches for yourself, or any of these watches, or a different watch I've never even seen before, or no watch. The money is yours to do whatever it is you want. Just call the number on your screen now to find out how much your case could be worth for free.
To get a windfall, you first need to call. Call your favorite attorney now.
800-487-0943.
And you can't have my tie either.
Welcome back. We have been following breaking news this morning. Mojtaba Khamenei has been named the new supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard has now announced its loyalty to the new supreme leader.
Newsmax will have the latest updates as Operation Epic Fury and the joint U.S.-Israeli military action in Iran unfolds. And, of course, he is now on the U.S. and Israel's kill list. So it's nice that everyone's giving allegiance to him in Iran, but I doubt he will be around very much longer.
Well, you hear that ticking noise?
Yeah.
That's not only a bomb, it's the time. Countdown, if you will, before he's taken out.
Sure.
Because the last thing, it's not even the last thing. Like President Trump said, it's a non-negotiable. Exactly. Anyone in the Ayatollah's line cannot assume leadership roles in the country. It needs to be a completely new regime. Why? Because there's a new vision for the Middle East, starting with Iran, and Iran is in the way right now with their nuclear aspirations.
Yeah, and to your point earlier, John, we haven't really heard much from him, although he is said to be worse than his father in terms of his radical beliefs, and he's very much a part of that old regime. So he, of course, is not someone I don't believe that the people would be standing behind, but of course we'll have to see how that unfolds as well.
As the song goes, ready or not.
You're watching theDove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco and the Bay Area. Seen on KURK3 and these Dove TV affiliates. Good morning. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is the happening place because when Jerry shows up, it happens.
It's happening. We're not sure what.
But
it's happening. Oh, yeah. This is good.
Well,
what do you got there?
Actually, yesterday was chocolate-covered peanut cluster day.
Okay.
But our good friend Barb, Barb K., I don't have permission to say her last name.
Okay.
She used to live here, and now she moved to Mars. But she still watches the Dove and listens to the Dove every morning.
All right. Good.
And on March 8th, she sends us 3 of these things.
No kidding.
And they are full of chocolate-covered
oh, my goodness.
Peanut clusters.
Yeah.
You know, this is like really cool stuff.
Yeah, we can stop right here.
Yeah, we can stop right there. So, Barb, you are the winner of the day. Thank you so very, very much. Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. We have that for you. We'll get you caught up. Got some great guests coming up. And you're here.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of the opposite side of the great guests that are coming up, but you got me anyway.
Well,
so here you go.
You're like the bad habit that returns.
Oh, I know my way back. And I remember that. It's one of the few things. But anyway, hey, it is, guess what? Especially when you think of the gas prices and seems like they're just rolling up as we're sitting here. It is National Get Over It Day. Well, I think this one's going to be hard to get over. Nobody's going to get over this until they go back down.
Yeah. It hit over $100 over the weekend a barrel.
Yes.
I saw diesel close to $6 in some places over the weekend. So it has spiked. There's a silver lining to this.
What is it?
It's the incentive to get the war over.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yes,
Because this will
indeed.
kill the economy faster than anything.
Boy.
So they're going to have to get this thing cleaned up and over.
Well, the president said it's worth a short spike in the prices to get this thing done with, but you got to get it done.
You got to get her done.
Yes,
Get her
okay.
done.
It's also a couple things to eat. Obviously, we have our dessert here with the peanut clusters, but it's National Meatball Day. Ooh. And I don't care what kind of meatballs, spaghetti meatballs, Swedish meatballs, meatball sub, meatball pizza, turkey meatballs, lamb meatballs, porcupine meatballs.
I don't think
That's
so.
meatballs made with rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also, well, there's more. Whatever you can fill in the blank. Yeah.
Meatballs.
But there's meatballs right there.
All right.
So do you have a preference? Spaghetti meatballs, Swedish meatballs, meatballs? I love meatball subs. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, the meatball subs are good. Meatballs on spaghetti are good.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. Maybe you don't eat meat. Well, no, this doesn't work anyway. It's National Crab Meat Day. I was going to say, if you don't eat beef, maybe you could eat seafood, but that doesn't always work. Meat is meat, right? For people who avoid meat.
Well, carnivores, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. So,
The other
but this
ones would be fish.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. We'll get a clarification. But on National Crab Meat Day, offers a day to celebrate one of America's favorite crustaceans.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that crustacean?
Well, I had crab over the weekend.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's
Yeah, and
right.
I have to tell you that when it's done right, it is wonderful.
Yes.
And when it's not done right, it's not good. But you got to make sure it's done right.
Yeah. Do you know how to prepare crab?
Well, I'll crack it sometimes.
Yeah.
And do that. And then you got to have the butter.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. You got to have the butter.
But if you're going to do like a crab cluster,
Yeah.
it's got to be done right with the right spices.
We went over to an RV park over in Coos Bay with friends a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. We went out in the bay, we went crabbing all day, we just caught a mess of crabs, came back in, and they had facilities for us to shuck the crabs,
Really?
to boil the crabs. The whole thing was right there.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Like about $100 a night.
Oh,
but
well, there you go. That part.
but it was really good. And when you are all done eating your crab and your meatballs and your peanut clusters, take a nap. It's National Napping Day, and especially significant because we returned to daylight savings time.
Yeah, we did.
And people lost an hour.
Yes, they did.
Some people are still trying to make it up.
In fact, look at our clocks.
Yes, exactly. We're wrong. But, napping is a good thing. Mid-afternoon naps are an integral part of most cultures and scientifically proven to be good for you. It boosts alertness. It improves your mood. It enhances your memory. That's the trouble. I'm not getting enough sleep. And also, it is good for your heart rate. Your heart health is very good. Regular napping at least twice a week can reduce the risk of heart disease by up to 37%.
Well, I like naps.
I do
some
too.
people don't, but I do. But it was known as the siesta.
The siesta, and that's a very big part of certain cultures.
Okay,
Yes.
so then came the when we were discovered on the West Coast from Mexico, and they come up and they had all of these forts and everything, and these.
Oh yeah, yes.
And anyway, the
missions.
in the siestas.
Yes.
Then Americans woke up and they realized while everybody else was taking a siesta, they went out and called on their clients and took the business away.
You bring up a good point because we know it is part of many different cultures.
It is.
But is it part of an American culture?
Well, I don't know. We're so driven these days.
Yes.
But
go get them.
Some cultures don't eat dinner till like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's breakfast for me.
Yeah, well. Anyway, take a nap. It's healthy.
All right.
Healthy
It
to
is
take a
healthy.
nap.
Yes, indeed.
Here's a guy that's never waken up from one.
Here's a look at your Monday weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, rain showers with some wet snow mixed in, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Down the Willamette Valley from Salem and Albany to Corvallis and Eugene, look for partly sunny weather with scattered showers, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Across central Oregon, Prineville and Bend are sunny and cool with highs in the low to mid 40s and lows in the 20s. Mostly sunny and breezy over in Boise, Idaho, with a high temperature in the low 50s. Along the Oregon coast, Coos Bay and Port Orford stay cloudy with a chance of rain, while Brookings and Crescent City, California see scattered showers and sun with highs in the low to mid 50s. In southern Oregon, Grants Pass has a slight chance of rain, then partly sunny and low 50s. Partly sunny and low 50s in Medford and near 49 in Ashland. Mostly sunny and low 50s in the Klamath Basin. Across Northern California's interior, including Yreka, Redding, Chico, and Sacramento, expect sunny weather, highs in the upper 50s north to the 70s south, and mild nights with lows in the mid to upper 40s. Around the Bay Area from Santa Rosa and Napa down through San Francisco and San Jose, morning fog gives way to sunshine with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s and nights in the mid 40s to near 50. It's your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at that picture. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah,
That's our valley.
LA Basin. Nope, it's Rogue Valley.
Oh,
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Growing like crazy.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, I wanted to show this
Yeah,
morning.
what do you have there?
Well, this is, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Maybe I should take a picture of it. We can put it up
oh,
later.
yeah.
But my buddy that I grew up with,
Right.
Bud,
Yeah.
and I was gone over the weekend, and he left me a present. And and this really means the world to me because I don't have a picture of this anywhere in all my stuff.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know if you can see this.
Now you do. Look at
But this is my first radio job flying that airplane.
That is amazing.
That is a Cessna 177 Cardinal, and it was called the Air Watch. And the tail number was 132, which was 1320 AM.
Okay.
News radio. And then Air Watch is what we call the traffic pilot, KCRA. And that's me with my plaid
I like it.
jacket.
You're pretty hip there.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
I think I flew this airplane for a couple of thousand hours.
Did you really? Wow.
And then this is the one I had most interesting. I flew into a flock of geese
That with that plane?
with this plane.
That looks pretty good.
I had this had a carburetor on it, and I had what they call carburetor ice, and I was heading for a football field at a high school because the engine was quitting.
No kidding.
And just as I broke through 600 feet, the engine started, the ice took off, and I went over and landed at McClellan Air Force Base.
Wow. Now let me ask you: as it ices up, do you sweat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
So if you want to see a pilot sweat, just have that thing in the front stop.
Stop. That's right. That's,
You know.
that's there to cool the pilot, right?
Yeah, so this was also the plane that I was flying the vice mayor of Sacramento. And he was flying with me one morning, and it was marked down as a near miss, but I don't know if it really was, but it was close.
Really?
We came in close contact with a B-52
Oh, is that right?
out of Mather.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to go to military court and defend myself. I won that one. by the way.
Really? I can hear it now. The military pilot, Mayday, Mayday. We just had a close encounter with that plaid
listen,
jacket.
No, listen. Yeah, no. Listen, we would have been a bug on his windshield.
But you had to be the best dressed pilot in the skies over Sacramento.
Well, what was interesting,
Huh?
I had to get up in the morning and put a coat and tie on.
Yeah.
Because during the day I worked in the sales department.
Right.
So I'd fly 2.5 hours in the morning, land, work in the sales department, get back in the airplane at night, and fly another 2.5 hours.
You look good, man.
So anyway,
You look good.
Thank you, bud, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. This means because I do not have a picture of. I have a picture of the second airplane like this.
Oh.
I don't have a picture. This is the first
That's
airplane.
the first.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So that's very
All right.
cool. That means
job,
the world.
bud.
That's good stuff all the way.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that.
No,
Little
that was
nostalgia.
good. That
this
was
morning.
good.
All right.
All right. Oh, yeah, we got something else we got to go to now.
Yeah, Greg Laurie there.
All right. Well, this is good as well. Pastor Greg Laurie looks at taking the telephone pole out of our own eye before attempting to remove the speck out of someone else's eye.
Sometimes people will accuse you of the very thing that they are personally guilty of. It's called projecting. I think you're this, when in reality, I'm not telling you about you, I'm telling you more about me. Jesus summed it up this way: why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but you don't consider the plank in your own eye. How can you say to your brother, let me get the speck out of your eye, and look, a plank is in your own eye? Or another paraphrase puts it this way, Jesus speaking, how can you get the sawdust out of your brother's eye when you have a telephone pole in yours? People will nitpick on small little things and be so critical of other people, when in reality that may be the problem they themselves are dealing with. And that's exactly what they were doing with Nehemiah. They were accusing him of that. Commentator Kent Hughes summed it up this way, and I quote, "We find it so easy to turn a microscope on another person's sin, but we look at ours through the wrong end of a telescope. We easily spot a speck of phoniness in another because we have a log jam of it in our own lives. Anger toward the speck in someone else's life may come from the suppressed guilt over the same massive sin in our own lives," end quote. That's a very insightful statement.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Man.
Do you look at others with criticism?
You know,
look at others with prejudice?
Okay. I've been convicted before. I've sat in church before. Confession time.
Yeah.
I've sat in church and we're listening to the message, and the message is just perfect for that guy that's sitting 3 rows ahead of you over to the right. And you're thinking, boy, I hope he's listening because this really fits him.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there and something gets said and you're like, oh, I'm convicted now, and you like hang your head. Maybe you haven't done that, but unfortunately I have.
Yeah. Well, you remember the Lord's Prayer says, when you pray, forgive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the key to your prayers being heard. It's the key to opening the door for your prayers to be heard.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And of course, what's going on in Iran continues to make news. Well, it looks like what's left of the Iran regime decided to elect the former Khamenei sons as the new leader.
Yeah.
He's now the Iran's late supreme leader, of the son of the late supreme, the son
Junior.
of the late. He's the junior.
He's
Excuse
the
me.
junior.
Get all this straightened out here.
Yeah.
He's been named successor to the Iranian state, and as the war continues. Well, then a story breaks about 20 minutes ago that he's already wounded.
Oh.
Now, I don't know where this goes, and I don't know how much he has to work with. But if they already know that he's wounded, then they already know where he is.
Yeah. And let me ask you this: if you were the son, would you want it?
Well, I guess when you're marinated in that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's a great way of putting it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, he hasn't been heard or seen in public since the war broke out. But there's intelligence that says that he's been wounded, which may suggest that he was close by in one of those meetings.
Yeah.
So we'll see where this goes. But apparently, what's left of the regime has elected him to be the new supreme leader. So, excuse me. All right. So then, in the meantime, Israel's foreign minister praises Trump for the remarkable leadership. He made an interesting comment, and we'll play it for you here in just a minute. But here's, excuse me, here's what he said. He said that the President Trump has been a remarkable leader in his leadership during this whole thing. And he said, I think back to the mid-'90s when President Bill Clinton threatened North Korea not to develop nuclear weapons. But eventually, in this historic moment, he didn't act. And North Korea got the nuke.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, here's what the foreign minister had to say.
I think that the U.S. tried diplomacy, but Iran even didn't came closer to the demands that the U.S. had put on the table, not in the context of nuclear program, and about ballistic missiles or terror proxies, they were not ready even to talk. So eventually, the president, as much as our prime minister, President Trump, had to decide whether to act or not. And here is, I think, greatness of leadership, because think back to the 90s, to the mid-90s, when President Clinton threatened North Korea not to develop nuclear weapons. But eventually, in the historic moment, he didn't act. And therefore, today, North Korea has nuclear weapons. And this affects badly the neighbors and the allies of the United States, like South Korea and Japan. So now was the moment when we understood they are going to take their nuclear program to a very deep underground installation, which it will be immune there. And that moment would put them in a de facto immunity from airstrikes. So that was a moment that a decision must be taken in order to act. And that happened.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, pretty good. All right, so in the meantime, the president said, well, over the weekend, he's pleased with how the war is going, and here's what he had to say.
Well, I think we've accomplished more in 1 week than anyone thought possible. We've wiped out their Navy, 44 ships. We've wiped out their Air Force, every plane. We've wiped out most of their missiles. You see the missiles aren't coming much anymore. We've also hit their manufacturing areas where they make the missiles very hard. Their drone capacity is way down. And we've hurt them where it hurts. Including about every form of leadership you can have, we've wiped out.
Well, so I would say there's an amazing incentive here. The gas prices, you said it went to 119 over the weekend, then back down to
119.50 last night, yeah, and then went back down.
So, look, you just drive around town, you can see it.
Absolutely.
And so the only thing I can say, that is going to be a huge incentive for the president to stay on top of this. And what are they doing, and how quickly can they get this thing put aside? And I don't say that flippantly, but there's a huge incentive because with high gas prices, it'll ruin the economy and bring inflation back. So he's got a lot of pressure.
You know, he mentioned the drone reduction. The drone attacks have been reduced. Now, we know that Iran has been pretty large in supplying drones to Russia, and they've been using them in Ukraine. Does this mean that activity is going to slow down?
Yeah, and there's another part of the war that broke out. I was reading this a little bit last night, and I'm trying to figure out what does this mean? But Israel has attacked a couple of the refineries. Now, this is big.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what's the residual effect of attacking these refineries? Because now you're attacking their economic base to recover.
Right, yes.
In the meantime, the Strait of Hormuz is sitting there blocked again.
Again, yeah.
And go, what are you going to do with all of this? So it's very complicated over there.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to home, there was a public clash near what they call Gracie Mansion.
Yeah, that's the mayor's mansion in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where an IED was reported to have been seized?
Apparently so, yeah.
What is this all about?
Somebody dropped, in fact, wasn't it one of like 3? I think there was more than one. But yeah, an IED, they said they're lucky they got it. It could have had great damage to people, and it could have been deadly.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you get these things?
I don't
You
know.
make them?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Now, who did it?
Well, who did it, and why the mayor? I thought he was the beloved hero of the day there.
Do you want to hear the crux of this?
Yeah.
There's a guy that was in the crowd that they're looking at who was part of January 6th.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other story is back to New York, or staying in New York. Remember when they had the big snowball fight?
Oh, yeah. They went after the police department, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had snowballs with rocks in them. They were hurting people. Well, they arrested one, but now they got another one. And this guy's name is Patrick Hendry. He is the president of the Police Benevolent Association. Apparently, they arrested another one. Good. So here's what he had to say.
This second arrest sends an important message. These shameful attacks on our police officers last week was serious. It wasn't a game. It didn't end when the snow melted. This was a vicious attack on our police officers, and our police officers, it had consequences on them. They received injuries, and those responsible need to face consequences in this case. We know the mayor and others just want to move on. They want it just to go away. They want to sweep it under the rug. But that can't happen. All those who are responsible for attacking our police officers and injuring our police officers need to be held accountable.
All right, so the bottom line to this is Mondani creating his own civil war.
Yes, I think so, and creating a rift inside the police department that I don't think is something that he wants to tackle because, well, we know that he's been a defund the police kind of guy, and obviously has looked very critically at law enforcement in New York City, but you don't want to create a rift between you and law enforcement.
You know what I'd do if I was chief of police?
What?
I'd say, all right, fellow soldiers out there, no more escorting the mayor.
Oh.
We're going to remove all protection from the mayor.
There's a thought. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't want police? Fine. We're not going to give it to you. Have a nice day.
Yeah. Oh.
Let me know how your meatballs
Yeah. Yeah, that would do it.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Monday, from the top-ranked UCLA Bruins.
I got my dream school waiting for me to commit.
Pitcher Chris Grotus.
I'm just going to trust you through the process.
From nearly quitting the game.
I'm just going to hang up the cleats. I'm injury guy.
To leading his team to the College World Series.
I was like, wow, this is unreal. Striking out the side against LSU, I was like, wow, this is just unbelievable.
Monday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
All right, welcome back. 24 minutes past the hour. Finally, our Oregon legislature finally died. They got out of the building after a short session. I was reading a summary of all the things that went through.
Yeah.
You know, why can't we have a session where no bills passed? Bills mean restrictions. Bill means regulations. Bill means we're in charge and you're not.
Do legislators feel obligated?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they feel like that they're failure if they don't sponsor something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so much stupid stuff came out of there. But there was some good stuff that came out of there.
All right.
But you got to really,
You got to sort through it?
You got to sort through
it.
it.
Okay.
Well, here's one. And I don't understand all the problems, but I'm glad this happened because our own university here in our backyard, Southern Oregon University in Ashland, has been really struggling. They've had some declining enrollment, high in costs, and President Bailey comes in and he really inherited a bunch of problems. He's a good guy trying his best to put all this together. In the meantime, Oregon lawmakers did approve, remember we mentioned it last week, but they did approve a $15 million funding package to help stabilize the university. So that's a good thing. In the meantime, as you know, the legislature did pass a bill to move the citizens' referendum from from November to May, and this really has caused an uproar, and it's now being challenged in the courts. Okay, And it should be, because a citizens' referendum shouldn't be overridden by the government.
Right.
I mean, the principle of the thing is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And so the governor's playing her tricks and wants to move it to May, because usually May has a lower turnout and all those nonsense things. Well, I just want to show you the power of one person. A second lawsuit has been filed challenging the Oregon's decision to move the state gas tax referendum from November election to the May primary, arguing that the change unfairly limits voter participation. Okay, which is true.
Yeah.
So a woman from Klamath Falls, her name is Mary Martin. She's 73 years old. She's a disabled woman. She can't get around. She couldn't go out and sign signatures. She couldn't hold petitions to get this done. So she took it on herself, and she filed the second lawsuit with the U.S. District Court in Eugene to stop the governor from moving the referendum from November to May.
Outstanding.
So now we have a legislator group suing, and we have a
citizen.
A citizen.
Yes.
This is good stuff. And I want to say to Mary Martin, I don't know if you're listening or watching the Dove this morning, God bless you. This just shows you we can do things if you just stand up and do it.
Yeah, and in this day and age where people are very sensitive of the threat to democracy and the democratic principles across the country, how's the press handling this?
Well, I had to dig to get the story.
Say no more.
But it's there, and I just want to say this is great.
Yeah.
She can't. I mean, she's disabled. She can't get around. She does, but she's doing her part.
Wow.
I'm going to call her today.
Yes, you
love
should.
on her a little bit.
Yes. All right.
Really
I like
good.
that.
All right. Good morning to you. Here's the what am I? Oh, the satellite image.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
Yeah, what do we got?
Do we have a satellite in? Oh, there it is. Nothing.
We got nothing. Wow. Continues to be nothing. We're going to see mid-50s today and cloudy skies and a little bit of general clearing by the end of the week, but we're going to stay 50s and then climb into the mid-60s later in the week. And check this out. By Sunday, may bump into 70. Monday, 75. Middle of next week, are you ready for near 80?
Wow. Peggy and I, we like watching tennis.
Oh, sure.
And Indian Wells is going on down in Southern California. 90 degrees in the stadium there yesterday.
No kidding. Oh, man.
Yeah, those poor guys are sweating up.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's good stuff. But, you know, it's also March is when you can burn your piles.
Oh, yeah. Do you have anything to burn?
That's all I'll say.
Okay.
So, you have to call.
You see smoke signals.
You got to call. You got to make sure everything's right. Okay.
Check it out. I know somebody who was burning trash piles on his property.
Yeah, it's supposed to be trash.
No. It was yard debris.
Okay,
yard debris, and he was on the on the west side of the valley in the hills, and it got a little out of control.
Oh,
and there were firefighters down at like a soccer game or something down in the valley, and they watched it. And they jumped in their rigs, and they ran up there, and he's trying to put it out while they arrive.
Well, you got to be careful and do all the things that you're supposed to do, but it is the season.
And I got a pile. Oh, boy, do I have a pile.
Yeah,
I can't wait. All right.
I don't know what it is about burning something. It's just so much pleasure in that.
And you know what? Pam's got a little video of me going up to one, and I put a little gas on it, you know, and she's got the video going, and I...
You put a little gas? You just said that on the air?
I did. Just a little bit, just to accelerate it a little bit.
Yeah.
And it went, the ground went, whoom.
Yeah.
And Pam's got me on video jumping.
Well, I don't have a good record, so I got to be careful. I've been called on in the years gone by.
Okay. I think we need to change the subject.
Yeah, please get out of here.
Okay, well, Fox Business spoke with news commentator Phil Flynn, who commented on a futures report that was released last Friday and how President Trump and Treasury Secretary Sent are thinking out of the box with energy supplies from the Middle East.
I heard some oil tankers are putting out Chinese flags because China's Iran's last friend, right? So we're not going to attack Chinese ship. I think there are a lot of things that they can do, and I think naval presence in the area. Some of the ships they can't have a naval presence for every ship, but I think as they continue to gain air superiority, they're going to be able to reduce these flights, these attacks in the missiles. And I think with every passing day, that threat is going to be less. But people, these companies, they don't want to put their people at risk. They don't want to put their assets at risk. So it's going to be slow going in the beginning. And it's already impacting oil production. Kuwait, for example, saying, well, if we can't move the oil, or if we can't move the products, we won't refine it. China is reactive, and they're saying we're not going to export oil and gas because we need it for ourselves. So it definitely is impacting prices, and I think that the steps that the U.S. is going to take are the steps that they're taking now, reduce Iran's ability to continue these attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's the only thing you got to do?
Well, the Strait of Hormuz is the clutch point right now, and obviously, as well as things are going for the U.S. over there, that is still a little sticky wicket right there, because obviously there are no tankers going through right now.
No, and like you said, those companies don't want to risk their assets in those tankers. I mean, you don't replace one of those overnight. So anyway, I think it's a look. All of a sudden, the incentive of the war to get this done has really increased.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, we'll take a peanut cluster, a Barb peanut cluster break. Thank you, Barb.
Fantastic.
She sent these to us from Mars.
Oh, they're fantastic.
She lives on Mars now.
Experience evangelism like never before.
It's not about finding ourselves. It's not about being true to ourselves. It's about being born again.
Way of the Master's dynamic co-host team delivers captivating witnessing encounters.
That makes you feel uncomfortable because you're doing things you know you shouldn't. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired and equipped to share your faith. Watch Way of the Master Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 5 on the Dove TV.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
All right, welcome back. 35 past the hour, and as we mentioned just a few moments ago, something that's brewing now is Israel's attacking the refineries in Iran, which is really a big deal. So let's check in with CBN News Watch, and Chris Mitchell has an update on that.
Joining us right now is CBN correspondent Paul Petit with some of the latest of what's been happening just in the last 24 hours. Paul, tell us, there's so many things that continue to happen. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's been a very busy day again. Let's get right into it. But before I do, I was fascinated to learn that the Ayatollah was taken out in the first 40 seconds of this entire war. And that's the first time I've heard that. That was rather startling and interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, though. Right now, Iran, what's going on over there? Black clouds in Iran today, specifically because Israel is attacking oil facilities throughout western Iran. Those oil reserves, those facilities, they serve as a main point for the military infrastructure Chris and Josh, and it's very important that they take those out, really dismantling step by step the missile sites as well as the oil. So they're dealing with that right now. The IDF, more than 400 targets over the past day alone, struck in western central Iran. That includes those oil fields I just mentioned. And the U.S. now reporting over 3,000 targets in the first week of Operation Epic Fury.
President Trump has been saying quite a lot. One of the main things he said in the last couple of days was unconditional surrender. Sounds reminiscent of FDR and Winston Churchill calling for unconditional surrender for Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan. Is that just some of what he's been saying in the last few days?
Yeah, unconditional is the key word. In other words, it'll be determined by what Trump and Netanyahu believes is the right way to go about it. It's not going to be based on the negotiations that happened in the days leading up to the war. So that is going to be key and front and center to what happens next. Now, what's interesting, what Trump did talk about in addition to that, and this is more recently, is he said he does not want the Kurds involved. So he was quoted as saying that. He's sort of had a change of mind on that, apparently, and he, I believe, is concerned that this may complicate things. He followed up in saying that, and he just doesn't want to get them involved in this time, which, of course, then, Chris and Josh, begs the question, okay, if the Kurds don't get involved, then who will? Then obviously that might point to boots on the ground, whether it be the IDF or the U.S. Army and Marines, which is something that President Trump has not taken off the table. But all of us know here collectively that for true regime change to take place in Iran, you have to have some sort of boots on the ground controlling things. You cannot make a regime change or force it into action from firing from the sea or from the air. So we'll have to watch this very closely. I believe we'll see a lot more of this talk coming up in the days ahead.
What's happening in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the surrounding Gulf nations?
Yes, as you recall, startling to a lot of people, because on the initial days of the war, a lot of missiles being fired from Iran into more than a dozen Gulf states, and that includes Kuwait, that includes Dubai, that includes the Emirates, as well as Oman, which were the actual negotiators in these talks. And so most recently, Dubai just brought up, Iranian drones hit Dubai International Airport there, forcing it to shut down for a short time and suspend brief operations. Those back up. The flights are back up. United Arab Emirates are out. Kuwait, also an airport there. So my guess is that a lot of these U.S. locations, planes are at the airports in these locations. But this is an odd development, because this came after Iran's president said in a recorded message to these countries and their leaders that he would not fire on his Gulf neighbors unless the strikes originated in those countries and by those people. And to what I've read and what I've seen, they have not yet. It appears the missiles are still going out in that direction. So, you know, this is something that we'll have to watch closely, because in the ever expanding opportunity for war here, when you have several Gulf states, close to a dozen now involved, this could expand the war very rapidly in very little time.
Wait, Paul, are you saying Iran didn't keep its word?
Shocking. Yes, I know.
Breaking news.
There you go.
Wow.
Levity that means something.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's check out the weather. Pretty nice out there, and looks like we're in for a great week, according to Sleepy.
Here's a look at your Monday weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, rain showers with some wet snow mixed in, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Down the Willamette Valley from Salem and Albany to Corvallis and Eugene, look for partly sunny weather with scattered showers, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Across central Oregon, Prineville and Bend are sunny and cool with highs in the low to mid 40s and lows in the 20s. Mostly sunny and breezy over in Boise, Idaho, with a high temperature in the low 50s. Along the Oregon coast, Coos Bay and Port Orford stay cloudy with a chance of rain, while Brookings and Crescent City, California see scattered showers and sun with highs in the low to mid 50s. In southern Oregon, Grants Pass has a slight chance of rain, then partly sunny and low 50s. Partly sunny and low 50s in Medford and near 49 in Ashland. Mostly sunny and low 50s in the Klamath Basin. Across Northern California's interior, including Yreka, Redding, Chico, and Sacramento, expect sunny weather, highs in the upper 50s north to the 70s south, and mild nights with lows in the mid to upper 40s. Around the Bay Area from Santa Rosa and Napa down through San Francisco and San Jose, morning fog gives way to sunshine with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s and nights in the mid 40s to near 50. It's your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Another shot of our valley with some overhead, I would say, high-low clouds.
Yeah.
But a lot of lights down there. Man, we're growing, aren't we? Look at all those people.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys all come from?
I don't know, but they all settled right there.
Right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Well, it was on this date in 1988 at the unveiling of a commemorative stamp that President Ronald Reagan, returned to a story that had followed him for nearly half a century. At the University of Notre Dame, Reagan helped unveil a commemorative U.S. postage stamp honoring legendary football coach Knute Rockne. The moment carried special meaning for the president. Long before the White House, Reagan had played Notre Dame star George Gipp in the 1940 film Knute Rockne, All-American. In the movie, Rockne urged his team to win one for the Gipper, a line Reagan would repeat throughout his political career, turning a football moment into a piece of American culture. The United States Postal Service stamp honored Rockne's lasting impact on the sport and his role in shaping Notre Dame into a football powerhouse. For Reagan, the ceremony was more than a tribute. It was a reminder of how one coach, one team, and one famous line became part of American history.
New one for the Gipper.
How about that? Win one for the Gipper. That's right. And he was the Gipper.
Okay. Well, anyway, the actor to president.
I liked it. And during the unveiling, he grabs a football, tosses it out to the press corps. That was awesome.
All right, good morning to you. Michael Glodo, he's one of the apologists with Crossway, which is an outstanding apologetic organization, shares what God calls us to do when we hide in shame. You ever do that? Take a listen.
When you become alert to the motif of God's face, and then you start to read the Psalms, you see some really interesting uses of this motif. One big one is when the psalmist feels abandoned under trials, he will use the language of, God, you have hidden your face from me. It's as if God has turned away and is no longer mindful and attentive to the psalmist's situation. So the sense of abandonment. The other is the sense of shame, where the psalmist almost is asking God to turn his face away, to hide his face from my sins, from my shame. And so these are recurrent motifs in the Psalms. And first of all, to be reassuring, this is universal Christian experience. I mean, there are times where we wonder, has God forgotten to be gracious? Or there are times we say, God, look away from me. I'm unacceptable before you. And of course, we have the larger message of the gospel. But if you just want to take heart, go to a psalm like Psalm 27, where the psalmist says, Lord, you have said, seek my face. In other words, God says, seek my face. Don't hide from me. Come out from behind your shame. Look for me in the trials. And then the very next line, Lord, you have said, seek your face. So the psalmist says, your face do I seek. And so for anybody who's in that circumstance of feeling abandoned or feeling unworthy to be in the presence of God, God says, seek me. Seek me. Not only seek me, seek my face, that intimate, approving, accepting, enlightening, life-giving look that I promise you if you come to me in repentance and faith.
Okay, good stuff all the way around. Very good stuff all the way around. All right, let's take a quick, what do we have here? We have
peanut clusters.
Thank you, Barb.
Yes.
Barb used to live in Southern Oregon. Then she moved to Mars, but she always remembers March 8th as being Peanut Cluster Day.
Be careful.
Well, I can't tell you where she lives.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But she's faithful.
They're fantastic.
Did you make those, Barb?
Yeah,
She'll tell me here in a minute.
Yeah, please. Yeah, because they
are really good. Okay, we'll be right back.
All right.
Your love, the only thing that matters is your love, your love. That's all I have to give. Your love is enough to light up the darkness.
The Pregnancy Center in Medford is a place of hope, providing free pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, options counseling, and support to help women make informed, empowered choices. The Pregnancy Center is growing, hiring registered nurses to join our compassionate team. Work in a supportive environment where you can truly make a difference. No ultrasound experience? No problem. We'll train you in limited ultrasonography, a valuable new skill set for your career. To learn more, visit thepregnancycenter.us. Thepregnancycenter.us.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. No. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in, we weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn your something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
Today on the John Eckerberg Show, life can be full of surprises. One day you can be feeling wonderful, and soon after the doctor may diagnose you with a life-altering disease. Accidents, weather disasters, the coronavirus, disabilities. Today you will hear from 2 people who will answer the questions surrounding the topic, where is God when life hurts?
Join me for the John Eckerberg Show right here on the Dove TV. It'll be encouraging and informative.
Experience evangelism like never before.
It's not about finding ourselves. It's not about being true to ourselves. It's about being born again.
Way of the Master's dynamic co-host team delivers captivating witnessing encounters.
That makes you feel uncomfortable because you're doing things you know you shouldn't. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong.
Bold street witnessing that will leave you inspired and equipped to share your faith. Watch Way of the Master Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 5 on the Dove TV.
All right, welcome back. 10 minutes before the hour. The other day I had Bob Just on. Of course, Bob, you got to have our Just moment.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's quite the commentator, and he writes for Fox News and WorldNet Daily and all that. Mm-hmm. We were talking about Governor Gavin Newsom and the remarks that he made about Vice President J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. So you'll get a little bit of that. And then the other one was, I asked Bob, I asked everybody these days, do you think the Trump fatigue factor is now starting to show up? So here's a little bit of that conversation.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember vividly how much the left hated Ronald Reagan, who was a mild-mannered, wonderful man, strong and tough on communism, which is part of their problem. That's really ultimately we're dealing with a growing Marxist influence in my party, and that's been going on a long time. So yeah, what you're saying about Newsom is absolutely true. We just need to understand it's about something much bigger than Trump. Ultimately, it's about, I hate to use the word hate, but it's about hating under God America. It's hating traditional America. And that's the leadership of my party. We need to do everything we can to raise awareness, especially among regular Democrats, but also among, fence-sitting Republicans, to understand this really is a turning point for this country. We've really had 100 years, especially 100 years of atheist influence in this country, in our political arena, in our cultural arena. And we need to get back to God, because without the Lord, there is no country. We are an under God American system. Going back to the Declaration of Independence, right, which is one of the reasons the left is very uncomfortable with the Declaration, which we honor this coming July, 250 years. We're celebrating the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution.
Right.
I mean, that too. but at core, that we are a country that believes our rights come from God and not from government. Because what government gives us, government can take away. These rights are from God. And that's the heart of what so many atheist Democrats hate.
Well, he brings up a good point, but the whole issue about Governor Newsom is that he's really wanting to become the nominee for 28.
Yep.
And the more he talks, the worse it gets for him.
Yeah.
And yet he may be the nominee.
Right. And, you know, have you noticed the new get ready to run for president mode? And it's happening at least with two potential Democrat candidates, Shapiro out of Pennsylvania and Newsom in California. They have both released their memoirs. They're talking about themselves, giving people a chance to get to know them better, getting to know their background. And then, of course, Gavin Newsom spoke to a group of minorities last week, basically talking down to them. He said, I'm like you. I'm a poor reader. Yeah. I got bad SAT scores. I'm dyslexic. And I thought, whoa, you know, you're trying to be like the common guy, but you're putting them down. So it's,
he got a lot of criticism for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing they got to sell is themselves because they don't have any plans for anything.
Yeah. Yes.
So, but he's gonna be running for president from a state that is absolutely on the edge of total bankruptcy in so many ways. Yeah. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. But Bob makes another good point: is that the term "under God" comes from our Pledge of Allegiance. One nation under God. And that was put back into the pledge by President Eisenhower, I think it was 1954. The point being is we are a nation under God, and the left, for the most part, most of the left is godless or God-hating. Yeah. And that's the spiritual dimension that we're fighting in this culture. It's just pretty bad. So, hey, coming up, Rabbi Michael Barclay will be with us, and he's from the spiritual leader from a temple there in California. We'll be discussing all kinds of things with him. And then Robert Ringerger, investigative journalist from the Prince Albert II Monaco area, discusses Congress vote to block and to release the whole misconduct of what's going on in that area. So, I was talking to a friend of mine over the weekend about the Epstein thing.
Oh, yeah.
Epstein thing. I don't know why they just don't put this all out of there and let the chips fall. Yes. And get this story behind us.
Yeah, and I have another question, too. I mean, there's a lot of emphasis on the Epstein files right now. Why did it just start under the Trump administration when the files were in control of Democrats for years before Donald Trump won the last election? I don't understand the renewed interest or importance in the files now. And if there was something in there, Democrats keep saying it's all about Trump. Trump's all over there. And the more that they release, the more Democrats fall by the wayside. Yeah. Because, by the way, Jeff Epstein was a Democrat. He gave to Democrat causes. So why now? What's the deal with it?
Well, I think it's so salacious that neither party wants to be tagged with the embarrassment of it. Yeah. So the Democrats hit it for 4 years, and they push it over here, and you guys take care of it. Yeah. And then they make a thing out of it. They're good at it. They can make a mountain out of a molehill.
Release them. Unredacted, release them.
Get it out there.
Okay, check this out. This is cool. A day on the slopes nearly turned tragic for a Washington skier until intuition and technology helped save his life. Michael Harris was skiing at Stevens Pass, Washington, when he triggered an avalanche in an area known as Big Chief Bowl. The rushing snow pulled him under, trapping him beneath several feet of powder. He said he prayed, "God, I'm in trouble and I can't get out of this on my own." For more than 4 hours, Harris lay buried, unable to move his arms or reach the phone in his jacket. Somehow he survived thanks to a small air pocket in the snow about the size of a beach ball. Miles away, his wife Penny began to feel something wasn't right. She opened Find My Friend on her iPhone and noticed her husband's location hadn't moved in hours. Trusting her instincts, she alerted Ski Patrol. Using the phone's exact location, rescuers searched the area and eventually dug Harris out alive, but suffering from hypothermia and a broken leg. Doctors later remarked it's remarkable he survived it all. For Harris, the credit belongs to God and his wife. After 4 hours under avalanche snow, he says one thing is certain: she truly saved his life.
4 hours.
Yeah.
All right, Psalm 16, verse 8 is a good scripture for you today. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand, and I shall not be shaken. Well, I tell you what, get up and put the Lord before you this morning. Put him first and see how your day goes.
Amen.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
At Kelly's Automotive Service,
being good stewards of what God has entrusted to us
is at the core of our business.
We believe what we do matters.
Every interaction, every transaction is another opportunity
to bring Christ's values into the marketplace.
If you're a technician who wants to be part of something bigger,
or just looking for a new shop to bring your vehicle,
we would love to meet you.
We're Kelly's Automotive Service,
where we service your vehicle
but take care of you.
What an amazing year of growth last year for the Dove. You, our viewers and partners, blessed us with a new studio, a video wall to create sets for new local programming, a state-of-the-art control room, and much-needed insulation along with heating and air conditioning. Plus, you helped us renew many tower leases, so we can continue to bring you the Dove all across our network and a brand new full-power TV station. And from everyone here at the Dove, a huge thank you. We could have never done this without you. Your prayers and support is allowing the Dove to bring the gospel, encouragement, and information to millions more people needing the hope of Christ worldwide. We appreciate you standing with the Dove prayerfully and financially in our mission to reach people with the good news via television, radio, and streaming online. Thank you for your continued faithful support in keeping the Dove encouraging and informative 24 hours a day.
The Dove TV streams worldwide on Roku and Apple TV, plus online at thedove.us.
Hi, I'm Bayless Conlon. In life, we all face uncertainty, whether it's financial troubles, relationship valleys, a health crisis, or just trying to discover your purpose. One thing is for certain: God sees you. He loves you, and no matter what you're facing, He has the answers.
Get Answers with Bayless Conley, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
Grab a cup of coffee
and start your day right.
Join us for Mornings on the Dove.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove, where Jerry Building gets his kicks right here on the morning show.
It's better than Route 66.
There we go. All right, good morning to you. Happy Monday. How you hanging in there with this new getting up an hour earlier?
Oh, boy. Yeah,
was your clock off last night? I mean, your head?
You know, we have two sets of clocks in the house, and I think most people do these days. Those that reset themselves automatically, i.e. iPhone, iWatch, and then the other ones, like on your stove, on your coffee pot, on the wall, on these things over the cameras that tell us
what time it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So according to that clock, we're just starting our day.
And you know, I think a few people have not yet adjusted to it. Because you lose an hour, and, you know, how do you get that back?
Well, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this time I like the early.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. You have longer daylight when you get home.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's more time to get stuff done.
Yeah,
you
like
can go out there.
piles.
Right, move your piles, burn them. By the way, is your lawnmower ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, my lawnmower's ready. I'm not.
Yeah. You want me to come up and mow your lawn? Yeah. I'm pretty good on that thing.
Yeah, how much you charge?
I'll give you an inside deal.
Okay, I'll pay for the gas.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you
anyway,
very much.
Good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. We got that for you. Yesterday was Peanut Cluster Day. And Barb, who is a fan of the Dove, used to live here. She lives on Mars now.
Well, we're a fan of Barb.
We like you, Barb. We love you.
Yes.
Anyway, she just, I said last hour, did you make these? And she just texted me a little note. She says, yes, she melts, if you can believe this, these are peanuts. And she melts the chocolate in a crock pot.
Okay.
And then puts the peanuts in there and then cools them down, and there we go.
That's wonderful.
And she sent us... in memory of yesterday.
Yeah, it was Peanut Cluster Day. Yeah.
We're celebrating today.
We're going to celebrate it all week.
Barb, you are fantastic. You know how to make everybody smile here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're a very special lady. So.
Yep. And if for some reason you aren't smiling today, get over it. It is National Get Over It Day. Right. And that's exactly what it implies. Get over it. You know, sometimes we get our feelings hurt.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes just through misunderstandings and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's just time to let it all just slide off like water on the back of a duck. There you go.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack. National Meatball Day.
All right.
What kind of meatballs do you like?
All of them.
Spaghetti. We got spaghetti and meatballs, Swedish meatballs, meatball subs, meatball pizza, turkey meatballs, lamb meatballs, venison meatballs, porcupine meatballs, of course.
Porcupine?
Meatballs made with rice. They're called porcupine. Okay. And the list goes on and on. It's a wonderful thing. Get those meatballs out and get them going.
Okay, good stuff.
And also on the non-beef side, or one of those red meats, it's National Crab Meat Day.
Ooh.
It offers a day to celebrate one of America's favorite crustaceans with 1.5 million tons of crabs consumed each year.
Wow.
And so, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, to just get a little melted butter. And of course, crab meat isn't, you know, doesn't have a lot of calories. But the butter does.
No.
So enjoy.
Yeah, and the crab industry run a big one here off the coast of Oregon the other day. So congratulations to the crab industry out there.
Yep.
You got more work to do, but you won the big one. And that's good stuff.
Yes, indeed.
Do you like crab?
I love crab. I can eat it all.
Well, crab cluster, we had some over the weekend, and it was just absolutely wonderful.
It's so good that they make it imitation now.
That's not wonderful.
That's made with, like, I don't know, mashed up fish and then dyed. And,
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
It could even be, you know, grind tires.
Surimi and surimi and anyway. And we talked a little bit about this before. You know, we lost an hour over the weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of people are groping and trying to wander around in their fatigue. Well, it's National Napping Day, especially with the return of daylight savings time. And mid-afternoon naps are an integral part of most cultures and scientifically proven to be good for you. You know, a short nap of about 20 minutes can significantly improve alertness and performance, making it more effective than caffeine for combating mid-afternoon sleepiness. And napping can increase happiness by 11% and enhance the quality of interactions with others by 10%, and it enhances your memory. Just a 6-minute nap can improve memory and information retention, while a 60-minute nap can enhance alertness for up to 10 hours. The only trouble I have with a 60-minute nap, waking up.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like naps, but you got to be able not have to do something on the other side of it.
Right, yes. A long nap gets you a little bit too deep. Now, this is interesting. I'm looking at 3 kinds of naps. Planned naps, emergency naps, and habitual naps. What say you? Which one are you?
I like them all.
I like them all too. You know, those emergency naps, I've done that. You know, I think we've all fought fatigue behind the wheel of a car.
Oh.
It is one of the
Eat these.
Yeah, yes. Or, you know those little rest stops that you go by?
Yeah.
Don't go by them.
No, get
Pull
out and
in
walk
there.
around.
Yeah,
Get out and walk around.
or kick your seat back and take a nap.
Yeah.
Take a 10-minute nap. You'd be shocked how much good it does for you. So get over it day, take a nap day, and day after Peanut Cluster Day that just keeps on giving.
All right, here's a guy that was takes a nap on a regular basis. I can prove it. I got pictures of it.
Here's a look at your Monday weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, rain showers with some wet snow mixed in, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Down the Willamette Valley from Salem and Albany to Corvallis and Eugene, look for partly sunny weather with scattered showers, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Across central Oregon, Prineville and Bend are sunny and cool with highs in the low to mid 40s and lows in the 20s. Mostly sunny and breezy over in Boise, Idaho with a high temperature in the low 50s. Along the Oregon coast, Coos Bay and Port Orford stay cloudy with a chance of rain, while Brookings and Crescent City, California see scattered showers and sun with highs in the low to mid 50s. In southern Oregon, Grants Pass has a slight chance of rain, then partly sunny in low 50s, partly sunny in low 50s in Medford and near 49 in Ashland, mostly sunny in low 50s in the Klamath Basin. Across Northern California's interior, including Wairika, Redding, Chico, and Sacramento, expect sunny weather, highs in the upper 50s north to the 70s south, and mild nights with lows in the mid to upper 40s. Around the Bay Area from Santa Rosa and Napa down through San Francisco and San Jose, morning fog gives way to sunshine with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s and nights in the mid 40s to near 50. It's your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Well, there's a picture of Mount Ashland with no snow.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful shot.
It is a beautiful picture, and look at the low cloud, the high-low clouds on the other side of it there this morning. So anyway, good stuff all the way around.
Time for some Monday morning.
Oh, wait a minute. I got a little picture here for you.
What do you got?
Well, my buddy, Bud,
nice,
gave me this picture. And over the weekend, and it just means the world to me because I don't have a picture of that airplane, and he had it, and that is me.
Yep.
That was my first radio job, flying that airplane.
Wow.
I probably have about 2,000 hours of flying that airplane. If I'd fly five and a half hours a day.
Now it's got a custom paint job on the airplane. It's really nice. Now these days it would be that stick-on stuff.
Yeah.
But did they have to paint that airplane?
Yeah.
Like that?
So that was in the 70s, and that plane was a Cardinal, Cessna Cardinal.
Okay.
Painted all black.
Oh.
And if you look at the end number, it was November 132, which was 13:20 a.m. And then we called it Airwatch, KCRA Airwatch. And up underneath the wing, you can't see it there, were the call letters KCRA and then Airwatch under the wing. And no matter where we flew over Sacramento, you could see that plane because it was black. It just stood out like crazy.
Wow.
So that's the plane that I flew into a flock of geese. They flew into me.
Really?
I had carburetor ice. I almost had to land on a football field. I had a near miss with a B-52. I chased a bank robber and a person that was kidnapped in that airplane.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. And you were the best dressed pilot in the skies over Sacramento. Look at that.
The problem is that I'd have to get up early in the morning and go. I had to be over my first report at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness! Really?
Over McClellan Air Force Base because there are a lot of people who worked out there.
Oh sure.
But I had to dress because when I got off, I worked in the sales department.
Oh man.
Then I get back in the plane in the afternoon. But we had the radio to the radio station. We had the police radio. We had the highway patrol radio. And we had the county sheriff radio all in that airplane.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And you know what?
So I was one busy guy up there.
And what a coincidence. I lived briefly in Sacramento, and I know I heard you giving the traffic report from the sky. And I probably had a few words for you at times.
You probably did. Especially at the beginning, because I had no idea what I was doing.
Well.
I had cars on the wrong freeway going in the wrong direction. I mean, they literally put me in the plane and didn't train me. All I had was a pilot's license. And they called me and they said, "Are you airborne?" And I said, "I'm waiting for the reporter." "Well, you're the reporter. You guys didn't tell me that." So I had to get up and.
How did you know what to say? I mean, what did you do?
That first week was really terrible. So I went to all the control towers. I talked to McClellan, Mather, and Sacramento Executive. We didn't have the big metro airport. And I had to learn what the deal was. And we were given a little bit of an exception. We could fly about 1,200 feet over the city. You can't do that now.
Oh, that's low.
We were flying low and doing traffic. And I was in and out of all these control zones and everything. I had all that experience, but I had no experience of flying an airplane and talking at the same time.
Wow.
Well,
you made it.
Bud, thank you. That means the world to me.
That's awesome. That's a great shot. All right. Now, time for some Monday morning encouragement with Pastor Greg Laurie.
If you give the devil an inch, he'll take a mile. If you give the devil an inch, he'll take a mile. Predictable threats come from the two primary opponents to Nehemiah, Sanballat and Tobiah. If you go back to the original Hebrew, their names translate out to Beavis and Butthead. Or Dumb and Dumber. So these guys are leveling their attacks against Nehemiah. But he is not going to be deterred from his task. He's almost completed it. He just needs to hang the doors. And in the same way, we need to be careful to keep the doors of our life shut to evil. The door of our mind to evil thoughts. The door of our heart. The door of our life in general. Because again, as I said, if you give the devil an inch, he'll take a mile. We need to guard those thoughts and influences that don't come from God. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says that we should bring every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. So when a thought comes knocking at the door of my mind, I can let it in, or I can say, you're not coming in at all. And some thoughts should just be left out. As I've said many times, it's not a sin to be tempted. Even Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, but it's a sin when you allow that temptation to come into your mind and take it into your thought processes and run forward with it. And so you have to guard yourself.
Wow.
Well, it's interesting. I read that scripture this morning, 2 Corinthians 10. Yeah, take captive every thought, So I know you want you to put your hand in that jar.
Yes.
But you have to take that thought captive, because if you give one piece, it's like giving an inch, and you'll end up eating that whole thing, which is like the devil taking a mile.
So it's not a sin.
Have a nice day.
Thanks a lot, man. It's not a sin to be tempted, but to give in.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. And, of course, things are happening over in the Middle East, to say the least, and especially there in Iran. And it looks like over the weekend, what's left of the Iran Guard or regime, they decided to get Khamenei's son and advance him to be the new supreme leader.
Yeah.
Okay, the problem is he hasn't been seen since the attack. However, intelligence reports just a little while ago, he is alive, but he's wounded.
What?
What does that tell you?
Yeah.
So they obviously kind of know where he is.
Yeah.
But anyway, the younger Khamenei, who had not been seen or heard of by the public since the war started, has long been considered the contender for the post. And apparently what's left of the regime has elevated him now to be the leader.
Why would he even want it? Does he not know that he is now in the crosshairs himself, and probably is suffering the effects of that anyway?
Yeah, so just tells you there's a little bit more work to do.
And I hear that he is a very hardliner like his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they know that he's wounded, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, how we get bits and pieces of information here, so we'll see where this goes, but that just lets you know they got a little bit more intelligent work to do.
Boy.
In the meantime, Israel's foreign minister, he's quite a guy, and he really has strong complimentary words for the president. And he talked about how the president's leadership has absolutely been remarkable and taking on the Iran's nuclear program. And he likened it to former President Bill Clinton when he had a chance to take out the nukes in North Korea and got right up to it and then backed away. And here's what he had to say.
I think that the U.S. tried diplomacy, but Iran even didn't came closer to the demands that the U.S. had put on the table, not in the context of nuclear program. And about ballistic missiles or terror proxies, they were not ready even to talk. So eventually, the president, as much as our prime minister, President Trump, had to decide whether to act or not. And here is, I think, greatness of leadership, because think back to the 90s, to the mid-90s, when President Clinton threatened North Korea not to develop nuclear weapons. But eventually, in the historic moment, he didn't act. And therefore, today, North Korea has nuclear weapons. And this affects badly the neighbors and the allies of the United States, like South Korea and Japan. So now was the moment when we understood they are going to take their nuclear program to a very deep underground installation, which it will be immune there. And that moment would put them in a de facto immunity from airstrikes. So that was a moment that a decision must be taken in order to act. And that happened.
Yeah. Well, anyway, by the way, there's another story out that just broke a little while ago that President Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have agreed together when they will begin to wind down the war. In other words, it won't be just American-led. They'll agree together. But now that the son of Khamenei has now been supposedly elected to be the new leader, what's left to lead? But there is a problem over there. It's called the Strait of Hormuz, and that's not going anywhere. That's all locked down again, and that's why the high oil prices.
Exactly. I mean, hit 119.50 overnight. It's back down now, but you're right. Strait of Hormuz is closed. It is effectively.
Yeah, they were going to have American Navy, escort ships through that. But that's not happening now. So the only thing I can say, the president, I think, has an amazing incentive to get this war behind him and get oil flowing, because that will affect everything in the United States, around the world, and including inflation.
Right. Now, the president said he's not concerned about the temporary, he calls the temporary spike in oil prices. Yeah. So hopefully...
The word temporary is...
Yeah, that's big.
We got to define that. In the meantime, he was aboard Air Force One, flying between locations, and he said he's pleased with how the war is going. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think we've accomplished more in 1 week than anyone thought possible. We've wiped out their Navy, 44 ships. We've wiped out their Air Force, every plane. We've wiped out most of their missiles. You see, the missiles aren't coming much anymore. We've also hit their manufacturing areas where they make the missiles very hard. Their drone capacity is way down. And we've hurt them where it hurts. Including about every form of leadership you can have, we've wiped out.
So they obviously, look, this thing is so well planned out. It's so well strategically that we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And so we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, back to New York, Mayor Mondani has got a little bit of a problem. They found an IED in his neighborhood.
Yeah, right outside his house.
Can you believe this?
Yeah.
So they had a little bit of a clash out there, and they're thinking, man, what's going on here? If that thing went off, I mean, how big was it and how dangerous is it?
Yeah, I don't know. They had a little gathering outside of Gracie Mansion, which is the governor's mansion in Manhattan. And there were a number of protesters out there, and they find the IED. And I think it was one of, there were more than one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking,
I think there was 3.
Were they strategically, placed in?
I don't know. I don't know who they're going to tie this to. But, yeah, an IED, that's...
Now, I want you to look at that video real clear.
Okay.
The police are doing their job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next story is...
Okay.
Do you remember when the police were snowballed?
Oh, totally.
They were snowballed during the big storm a couple of weeks ago there in New York, and some of the snowballs had rocks in them.
Oh, God.
And they were being hit. Some policemen got injured. And so they arrested one, but it took a little while, and apparently they found and arrested number 2. Mr. Patrick Hendry, he is the president of the Police Benevolent Association, and here's what he had to say.
This second arrest sends an important message. These shameful attacks on our police officers last week was serious. It wasn't a game. It didn't end when the snow melted. This was a vicious attack on our police officers, and our police officers, it had consequences on them. They received injuries, and those responsible need to face consequences in this case. We know the mayor and others just want to move on. They want it just to go away. They want to sweep it under the rug. But that can't happen. All those who are responsible for attacking our police officers and injuring our police officers need to be held accountable.
Is throwing snowballs at policemen assault?
Well, it should be.
Yeah,
I don't
especially
know why.
with the rocks in them.
Especially if there are rocks in them.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is that the mayor is creating his own civil war in the city.
Yeah.
And I would say to the chief of police, it's real simple. Tell your colleagues not to protect the mayor's mansion, and don't protect the mayor. You don't want the police? Well, fine. We're not going to send them to be where you are.
Yeah, a bit of hypocrisy there. We know that the mayor has talked about defunding the police and the problem with the police, and then he's poo-pooing this, saying this was nothing, but he's relying on the police to protect him. And oh, by the way, he lives in a mansion.
Yeah.
You remember the socialist mayor? He moved into did he bring the collective in with him?
Well, you know, I mean, the hypocrisy there. But the point being is, why don't the police department say, you don't want us? Fine, we won't protect you.
Exactly.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
See how far that goes.
Okay.
All right, we're going to take a peanut cluster break. Thank you, Barb. We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these Ministries on the Move. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m., right here on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at thedove.us.
All right, welcome back. Happy Monday to you. Back at it. And our Oregon legislature finally wrapped up its short session. I was reading some of the accomplishments. They're calling them accomplishments.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, a lot of stuff going on up there. One thing that happened, we reported on this last week. That Southern Oregon University, right here in our own backyard in Ashland, which is a beautiful campus and great school. I feel sorry for President Bailey. He really inherited a lot of problems there. Declining enrollment and all the other things and the cost of operating the school got in a real financial pinch. And I guess you can point a lot of figures. The bottom line is, what do? You got to fix this problem. And so the university was under consideration for a $15 million grant. Well, apparently the legislature voted at the tail end of the session to grant the $15 million funding package to help the school. Hopefully that will get things turned around. But boy, it's run. I have to tell you, everything's gone up. Everything's gone up.
Yeah.
Insurance,
Yeah.
electricity, gas,
Yeah.
lawnmowers. I mean, everything's gone up. And so, wow. So in the meantime, as you know, our legislature, under the leadership of our governor, Governor Kotek, she tried to move the citizens' referendum of a no-tax gas tax bill that we passed under unbelievable circumstances, to move it from being on the November ballot to the May ballot. Well, citizens' referendum is citizens' referendum. In other words, the government shouldn't come over a citizens' referendum. Well, they did it anyway. And in the meantime, Senator Bruce Starr and a couple of others are suing, filing a suit to stop this, because can they really do it? And apparently that's going to be considered. Well, this shows you the power of one. And I bring this story to you, and I had to dig it out, but I have to tell you, this is so encouraging. A second lawsuit now has been filed challenging Oregon's decision to move the state gas tax referendum from the November election to the May primary, arguing that it changes the unfairly limits for voter participation. Not to mention the fact that it's the government overriding our citizens' referendum.
Right, yeah.
That's the big part of the issue. Well, I want to say to Mary Martin, 73-year-old disabled woman from Klamath Falls, God bless you, Mary. Thursday, she filed in the U.S. District Court in Eugene another lawsuit to stop this from happening.
Right.
It just shows you the power of being a citizen.
Yeah.
She's disabled. She can't get out and collect signatures. She can't do all the things that normal people could do. But I think she is speaking the sentiments of Oregonians that don't want this $4.3 billion tax increase.
Yeah, yeah.
6 cents on a gallon of gas. And God bless her. She went ahead and filed her own suit.
Now, to file your own suit, you're obviously going to have some legal representation, because we can't go into into this process on our own. So, did she pay an attorney to do this? Is an attorney or a firm picking this up pro bono, or do we need to set up a GoFundMe account for her?
Good question.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to it, but I do know that she's obligated herself one way or the other.
One way, yes.
To get legal counsel to present this. But this is absolutely wonderful. And I just got to say, folks, look, your voice, your action counts. And if it sticks, if we get some kind of a rogue liberal judge that says it's got to stay there, then we're going to turn out in May at a number that the governor does not expect.
Okay.
This is the will of the people, not the will of the government. And I just want to say to Mary Martin, God bless you. You know, kudos to her. All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Monday morning. And thank you, Preston, over at Smart Lawn. He's the guy, so you don't have to mow anymore.
That's right.
The Dow's off 708, so it's way down again. The Nas is off 249, almost 250, and the S&P's down 82 3/4. And so those are big numbers in the red this morning to start the day, and I'm sure it's all over what's happening in the Middle East. Now look at these numbers. Gold is at 5,087, silver's at 8,408, and crude oil is up but down.
It's only 95.71.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now you got to remember, it went to 119.
Yes.
It's at 95 at the moment.
Yeah.
Last week it was in the 80s, and the week before that it was in the 60s.
Yes.
And going down. So if there's ever an incentive for President Trump to get this thing taken care of and get the oil flowing, there it is right there.
Well, you hit it right on the nose, and that's where we're going here, because we've been talking about the fact that the president said they will escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, and we don't seem to see that happening. But on Fox Business, news commentator Phil Flynn talked about this situation. Let's listen in.
I heard some oil tankers are putting on Chinese flags because China's Iran's last friend, right? So we're not going to attack Chinese ship. I think there are a lot of things that they can do, and I think naval presence in the area. Some of the ships they can't have a naval presence for every ship, but I think as they continue to gain air superiority, they're going to be able to reduce these flights, these attacks in the missiles. And I think with every passing day, that threat is going to be less. But people, these companies, they don't want to put their people at risk. They don't want to put their assets at risk. So it's going to be slow going in the beginning, and it's already impacting oil production. Kuwait, for example, saying, well, if we can't move the oil, or if we can't move the products, we won't refine it. China is reactive, and they're saying we're not going to export oil and gas because we need it for ourselves. So it definitely is impacting prices, and I think that the steps that the U.S. is going to take are the steps that they're taking now, reduce Iran's ability to continue these attacks.
Okay.
So what do you think a monthly insurance premium on an oil tanker is? Oh my goodness.
Well, let's say this: it would fund your 401k.
I would think so. Yeah.
I don't know. That's got to be a big step, but we're going to have to figure that out. But according to the president, we're getting these things down. The biggest threat to the strait is going to be missile attacks.
Yeah.
And apparently, you got to understand two things that are happening. Iran's running out of missiles. No more missiles are coming in from China.
Right.
And what's left, we're taking out. So, I mean, slowly coming to the end here.
Attrition. It's going to happen, yeah.
Okay, good stuff all the way around. Thank you, Barb. You are testing our self-control.
And we're not doing real well with it.
I got to tell you, self-control is one of the fruits of the Spirit.
Yes.
So far, we're right on the edge. We'll be right back.
Awake our souls, open our eyes to see it, 'cause everywhere the King is, there is the kingdom.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Today on the John Eckerberg Show, life can be full of surprises. One day you can be feeling wonderful, and soon after the doctor may diagnose you with a life-altering disease. Accidents, weather disasters, the coronavirus, disabilities. Today you will hear from two people who will answer the questions surrounding the topic, where is God when life hurts?
Join me for the John Eckerberg Show right here on the Dove TV. It'll be encouraging and informative.
Christ belongs to all people. He belongs to the whole world.
For 60 years, Billy Graham and his team took the message of Christ to the world.
Have you been born again?
Telecasts of Billy Graham crusades continue to reach millions with the gospel.
If you repent, he will forgive.
Relive these moments on Billy Graham Classics.
Jesus said, follow me. Come and change the world with me.
Billy Graham Classics, Friday and Saturday on the Dove TV.
Good morning, 26 minutes before the hour on your Monday morning, back at it. Well, part of the interest of what's going on in Iran is Israel over the weekend started attacking the refineries. And I'm scratching my head on this. I'm going, what does that mean? Because in one way, it could hurt the citizens from taking over because that would be the basis of their economy.
Yeah.
But there may be other strategic reasons why this is happening. So let's check in with CBN News, and in particular our friend Chris Mitchell, as he talks about that very action there in Iran.
Joining us right now is CBN correspondent Paul Petit with some of the latest of what's been happening just in the last 24 hours. Paul, tell us, there's so many things that continue to happen. What's the latest?
Yeah, it's been a very busy day again. Let's get right into it. But before I do, I was fascinated to learn that the Ayatollah was taken out in the first 40 seconds. of this entire war. And that's the first time I've heard that. That was rather startling and interesting.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, though. Right now, Iran, what's going on over there? Black clouds in Iran today, specifically because Israel is attacking oil facilities throughout western Iran. Those oil reserves, those facilities, they serve as a main point for the military infrastructure, Chris and Josh. And it's very important that they take those out, really dismantling step by step the missile sites as well as the oil. So they're dealing with that right now. The IDF, more than 400 targets over the past day alone, struck in western central Iran. That includes those oil fields I just mentioned. And the U.S. now reporting over 3,000 targets in the first week of Operation Epic Fury.
President Trump has been saying quite a lot. One of the main things he said in the last couple of days was unconditional surrender. Sounds reminiscent of FDR and Winston Churchill calling for unconditional surrender for Nazi Germany, Imperial Japan. Is that just some of what he's been saying in the last few days?
Yeah, unconditional is the key word. In other words, it'll be determined by what Trump and Netanyahu believes is the right way to go about it. It's not going to be based on the negotiations that happened in the days leading up to the war. So that is going to be key and front and center to what happens next. Now, what's interesting, what Trump did talk about in addition to that, and this is more recently, is he said he does not want the Kurds involved. So he was quoted as saying that. He's sort of had a change of mind on that, apparently, and he, I believe, is concerned that this may complicate things. He followed up in saying that, and he just doesn't want to get them involved in this time, which, of course, then, Chris and Josh, begs the question, okay, if the Kurds don't get involved, then who will? Then obviously that might point to boots on the ground, whether it be the IDF or the U.S. Army Marines, which is something that President Trump has not taken off the table. But all of us know here collectively that for true regime change to take place in Iran, you have to have some sort of boots on the ground controlling things. You cannot make a regime change or force it into action from firing from the sea or from the air. So we'll have to watch this very closely. I believe we'll see a lot more of this talk coming up in the days ahead.
What's happening in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the surrounding Gulf nations?
Yes, as you recall, startling to a lot of people because on the initial days of the war, a lot of missiles being fired from Iran into more than a dozen Gulf states, and that includes Kuwait, that includes Dubai, that includes the Emirates, as well as Oman, which were the actual negotiators in these talks. And so most recently, Dubai just brought up, Iranian drones hit Dubai International Airport there, forcing it to shut down for a short time and suspend brief operations. Those back up. The flights are back up. United Arab Emirates are out. Kuwait also an airport there. So my guess is that a lot of these U.S. locations, planes are at the airports in these locations. But this is an odd development because this came after Iran's president said in a recorded message to these countries and their leaders that he would not fire on his Gulf neighbors unless the strikes originated in those countries and by those people. And to what I've read and what I've seen, they have not yet. It appears the missiles are still going out in that direction. So, you know, this is something that we'll have to watch closely because in the ever expanding opportunity for war here, when you have several Gulf states, close to a dozen now involved, this could expand the war very rapidly in very little time.
Wait, Paul, are you saying Iran didn't keep its word?
Shocking. Yes, I know.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Iran lied.
Oh, man.
Well, we'll see where this goes. They got every incentive now to get this thing wrapped up as soon as they can, and I don't mean that to be flippant, but the gas prices is going to be a big factor here.
Yes.
So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, the weather outside, we actually have a cloud cover over the top of us. It's not very thick. It almost looks like rain clouds, but there's no rain in the forecast.
Yeah.
So it'll probably break up. But according to Sleepy here, it'll be just fine.
Here's a look at your Monday weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, including Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville, rain showers with some wet snow mixed in, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Down the Willamette Valley from Salem and Albany to Corvallis and Eugene, look for partly sunny weather with scattered showers, highs in the upper 40s and lows in the low 30s. Across central Oregon, Prineville and Bend are sunny and cool with highs in the low to mid 40s and lows in the 20s. Mostly sunny and breezy over in Boise, Idaho with a high temperature in the low 50s. Along the Oregon coast, Coos Bay and Port Orford stay cloudy with a chance of rain, while Brookings and Crescent City, California see scattered showers and sun with highs in the low to mid 50s. In southern Oregon, Grants Pass has a slight chance of rain, then partly sunny in low 50s, partly sunny in low 50s in Medford and near 49 in Ashland, mostly sunny in low 50s in the Klamath Basin. Across Northern California's interior, including Wairika, Redding, Chico, and Sacramento, expect sunny weather, highs in the upper 50s north to the 70s south, and mild nights with lows in the mid to upper 40s. Around the Bay Area from Santa Rosa and Napa down through San Francisco and San Jose, morning fog gives way to sunshine with highs in the upper 60s to low 70s and nights in the mid 40s to near 50. It's your Monday forecast from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley, and there it is. You can see a cloud cover.
Man!
But it's high up, so it's kind of a high-low cloud cover.
Yeah.
But that'll break away, and you see above that just beautiful sunny skies.
All right. Well, on this day in 1988, while unveiling a commemorative stamp, President Ronald Reagan returned to a story that had followed him for nearly half a century.
At the University of Notre Dame, Reagan helped unveil a commemorative U.S. postage stamp honoring legendary football coach Knute Rockne. The moment carried special meaning for the president. Long before the White House, Reagan had played Notre Dame star George Gipp in the 1940 film Knute Rockne, All-American. In the movie, Rockne urged his team to win one for the Gipper, a line Reagan would repeat throughout his political career, turning a football moment into a piece of American culture. The United States Postal Service stamp honored Rockne's lasting impact on the sport and his role in shaping Notre Dame into a football powerhouse. For Reagan, the ceremony was more than a tribute. It was a reminder of how one coach, one team, and one famous line became part of American history.
Win one for the Gipper.
Win one for the Gipper.
Yes. You know what struck me there, too, is not only I love that, because, you know, we knew Ronald Reagan by the Gipper, and that's what it was all about. But when he unveiled that stamp, the price jumped out at me. It was 22 cents. So I Googled... I don't know what a stamp costs these days. 78 cents?
78 cents for
what?
stamps. You know, at what point do we stop this?
I don't know.
This is crazy.
Man.
Especially in an electronic age.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
All right.
All right. Michael Glotto, he's one of the, excuse me, the apologists with Crossway, which is a great apologetic organization. And he shares what God calls us to do when we kind of hide from him in shame.
Oh.
Okay? Oh. Yeah, I think we all do that. Here's what he had to say.
When you become alert to the motif of God's face, and then you start to read the Psalms, you see some really interesting uses of this motif. One big one is when the psalmist feels abandoned under trials, he will use the language of, God, you have hidden your face from me. It's as if God has turned away and is no longer mindful and attentive to the psalmist's situation. So the sense of abandonment. The other is the sense of shame, where the psalmist almost is asking God to turn his face away, to hide his face from my sins, from my shame. And so these are recurrent motifs in the Psalms. And first of all, to be reassuring, this is universal Christian experience. I mean, there are times where we wonder, has God forgotten to be gracious? Or there are times we say, God, look away from me. I'm unacceptable before you. And of course, we have the larger message of the gospel. But if you just want to take heart, go to a psalm like Psalm 27, where the psalmist says, Lord, you have said, seek my face. In other words, God says, seek my face. Don't hide from me. Come out from behind your shame. Look for me in the trials. And then the very next line, Lord, you have said, seek your face. So the psalmist says, your face do I seek. And so for anybody who's in that circumstance of feeling abandoned or feeling unworthy to be in the presence of God, God says, seek me, seek me. Not only seek me, seek my face, that intimate, approving, accepting, enlightening, life-giving look that I promise you if you come to me in repentance and faith.
Good stuff. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll talk to Bob Just when we come back.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Thank you to our Dove partners for your faithful support. You make it possible for the gospel to be broadcast 24/7 on TV and radio, not only locally, but also around the world online at theDove.us. Thank you. Your faithful giving to the Dove is touching lives here and now, but more importantly, for eternity. Thank you for keeping the Dove encouraging and informative. We can't do it without you. More at theDove.us.
Welcome back. 12 minutes before the hour. I did have Bob Just on last week. It's always a good time to have him on. He writes for WorldNet Daily, Fox News, and others. Anyway, he remains a Democrat for a lot of strange reasons.
I would like to ask sometimes, but I'm almost afraid to.
Well, I think his motive is right. It's just that, anyway, it's conflicting to me, but we love him.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, Bob, I want to say this respectfully, but it appears to me that the Democratic Party, now I'm going to say something here, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying, but it just appears to me that they're being ruled by darkness. And I say that almost in a broken way because you don't want that.
Right.
But I asked him, I said, is that criticism too hard? And here's what he had to say.
Spiritually dark is the exact phrase. It is spiritually dark because when people are encouraged to hate and hate more, it's a despairing condition to be in, and it makes people very vulnerable to violence and to violence begins with hate in the heart, right? And so, yeah, it's a very dangerous thing. And that Susan Rice quote is chilling. Other people, not me, but other people, and I agree, of course, have called it a straight up fascist. I mean, totalitarian. For her to talk about the quote, part of what she said there'll be an accountability agenda. This is not going to be an instance of, forgive and forget. She's talking about when they get in power, there's going to be a revenge. And she mentions, corporate interests, law firms, universities, and the media. They're going to come after anyone who, now in their view, right, normalizes Trump. That means, by the way, which you just implied, normalizing Vance, normalizing Rubio, normalizing Republicans, normalizing patriotic Americans. That's what we're talking about. These people are hostile to the very essence of who we are as a people. And Susan Rice's statement symbolizes that. Very serious, dark forces. I only hope that people will reject brand loyalty. Unfortunately, my mother was one of those people. She always described herself as a socialist, and toward the end of her life, she said she was in her heart a communist. But my mother didn't understand politics or economy at all. So in her mind, she was saying, she was a non-believer. I baptized her 6 months before she died, but at the time, she was a non-believer, and she didn't understand life at all. To her, saying she was a socialist or a communist meant, I really care about people. It's a delusion, right? But she had a blind loyalty to the Democratic Party. She just walked in and voted Democrat, and that was it. And unfortunately, there are a lot of Democrats, even fairly moderate Democrats, that have that blind loyalty to our party, and they're forgetting that the Democratic Party, especially the leadership, has nothing to do with the party of John F. Kennedy or Truman or any of the great Democrat figures in history.
Boy, he makes a great point there. Oh, man.
It's true. It's true. So you just, hopefully some of this stuff is becoming reality in people's thinking these days.
And there is a lot of that team voting that goes on.
Yes.
And part of it is, too, that we are so divided in our country, not only politically, but how we receive our information. And so, if you're going to these avenues, especially legacy media, there are just some things you're not going to hear.
Yeah.
And then if you find other stories, you're going to hear a different slant on those stories. But, boy, we're having, in a day and an age where information is so readily available, it's amazing how narrow people are limiting themselves to getting information.
Well, I have to say to people, in all seriousness, if you're getting your news from social media, you're being lied to. AI is infiltrated social media. You cannot believe anything that's on social media. So unless it's a personal friend, but the point being is all this other stuff out there is just propaganda.
Yeah.
You have to owe yourself a little due diligence to search out the stories for truth. But to your point and to Bob's point, brand loyalty still exists.
You bet. Yep.
All right. Got Rabbi Michael Barclay coming up from California. This ought to be interesting to talk to him a little bit.
Speaking of interesting, this is a day on the slopes nearly turned tragic for a Washington skier until intuition and technology helped save his life.
Michael Harris was skiing at Stevens Pass, Washington, when he triggered an avalanche in an area known as Big Chief Bowl. The rushing snow pulled him under, trapping him beneath several feet of powder. He said he prayed, God, I'm in trouble and I can't get out of this on my own. For more than 4 hours, Harris lay buried, unable to move his arms or reach the phone in his jacket. Somehow he survived thanks to a small air pocket in the snow about the size of a beach ball. Miles away, his wife Penny began to feel something wasn't right. She opened Find My Friend on her iPhone and noticed her husband's location hadn't moved in hours. Trusting her instincts, she alerted Ski Patrol. Using the phone's exact location, rescuers searched the area and eventually dug Harris out, alive, but suffering from hypothermia and a broken leg. Doctors later remarked it's remarkable he survived at all. For Harris, the credit belongs to God and his wife. After 4 hours under avalanche snow, he says one thing is certain: she truly saved his life.
I couldn't even imagine that.
Oh, no, yeah. And he said that when he was buried under the snow, he felt his phone ringing in his pocket and he couldn't reach it because his arms were trapped. But it was find friends that actually got him rescued, and I can relate to that. I used that myself.
Well, you didn't get buried, but you were kind of.
But I was right on the edge of out of bounds, and I was in the trees, and it was in a storm, and nobody was skiing that section of the mountain. I was pretty much on my own, and I didn't know how they were going to find me. Luckily I could reach my phone, I could call, and in calling, I got somebody who was on duty. Yeah. I got law enforcement, and he said, "Don't worry, I got ski patrol coming to get you." And he took Pete, my youngest son, has me on Friend Finder, and he expanded it, took a screenshot of it, called Ski Patrol, sent it to them. They knew exactly where I was, literally. He said, "Dad, 10 minutes, they'll be down." 10 minutes later, I hear him coming through the storm. "Hey, Jerry, Jerry." And I'm going, "I'm over here, get over here." But this guy, man.
I can't even fathom. I think I'm claustrophobic. I know I'm claustrophobic.
Well, you would not really fare.
I don't know how I would fare that.
Yeah. Oh, it would be horrible. Oh, what a deal.
Wow.
Good ending, though. Yeah.
You know the best part of your story?
What?
Was when you called me from the ER room.
Yeah.
You were hiring a kite.
I called you?
I got more out of you. I got enough now that you'll never run for public office. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably true.
All right, take with you Psalm chapter 16, verse 8 today. "I have set the Lord always before me." Why? "Because he is at my right hand. Therefore, I shall not be shaken." What a promise. Take that with you today. There's the picture of the mountain that Jerry should respect a whole lot more these days.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The Pregnancy Center in Medford is a place of hope, providing free pregnancy testing, ultrasounds, options counseling, and support to help women make informed, empowered choices. The Pregnancy Center is growing, hiring registered nurses to join our compassionate team. Work in a supportive environment where you can truly make a difference. No ultrasound experience? No problem. We'll train you in limited ultrasonography, a valuable new skill set for your career. To learn more, visit thepregnancycenter.us. Thepregnancycenter.us.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
And are you willing to say yes to the claims of Christ, that he is the Son of God, and that you want him to come into your heart and forgive your sins, and you want to know it? Oh, I know. Many of you have been baptized and confirmed. Most of you perhaps are members of some church, or you're identified with a church, or maybe you go to church 2 or 3 times a year. I don't know whether you do or not, but I'm sure a lot of you do. But you're not sure. You couldn't stand here tonight and say, "I know my sins are forgiven. I know I'm going to heaven." God is willing to forgive all your past tonight because of the cross. God is willing to say, "I forgive you," because he loves you. And God is interested in you as though you were the only person in the whole world. And you can receive him tonight.
Monday. From the top-ranked UCLA Bruins.
I got my dream school waiting for me to commit.
Pitcher Chris Grotus.
I'm just going to trust you through the process.
From nearly quitting the game.
I'm just going to hang up the cleats. I'm injury guy.
To leading his team to the College World Series.
I was like, wow, this is unreal. Striking out the side against LSU, I was like, wow, this is just unbelievable.
Monday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV. You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Rafael and the North Bay. Seen on KQSL 17 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and I've been looking forward to our special guest today, Rabbi Michael Barclay. He's the spiritual leader of a temple there in California. He's a recent recipient the B'nai Zion Distinguished Humanitarian Award. He's a nationally published Torah commentator for the Jewish Journal. He's the author of Sacred Relationships, Biblical Wisdom for deepening our lives together. He's also the host of CRN radio show and the podcast, The Rabbi's Table, Dialogue, Not Debate, where faith, politics, culture, and global headlines meet together in an open conversation. And there's a picture of the cover of his book there on the screen, Sacred Relationships. You can check that out as well. He does have a website, RabbiMichaelBarclay.com, and the picture of the landing site there. Rabbi Barclay, what an honor to have you. How are you today?
I'm well, thank God, and thank you for everything that you and your audience do to make this country a better place and this world a better place.
Well, thank you, sir. What is the name of your temple?
Temple Ner Simcha means the light of joy.
And where is that located?
Westlake Village, it's a suburb of Los Angeles.
Okay, good to see you.
We were the one synagogue in all of California that did not close during COVID.
God bless you.
Bless you. You know what? It wasn't a choice. My attitude was, we didn't close for the Inquisition or Hitler, and Gavin Newsom could kiss my toes. So it was,
Good for you.
We do our jobs to serve people.
That's wonderful. What a great story. We could probably talk all day on that one. But I do want to get your perspective. What are we missing, or maybe we just don't know, of the conflict going on there with Israel, Iran, and the United States?
I don't know that you're missing anything. I think that the nation's missing a lot of things. Most people are. The primary thing being that this is not a war over land, over politics, or over oil, or anything like that. This is a theological war. If you study Quran, if you study the Hadiths, this is very much their theology. They've been doing a 1,400-year war since Muhammad, with the intention of creating a worldwide caliphate of Sharia law. And Israel's just the front line. America's the last line of defense. And we need to understand that this is a theological goal. This is a spiritual war from their point of view. And that there's also the theology going on between in Iran, where it's Shia, and in most of the rest of the Middle Eastern Arab nations, where it's Sunni, and their issues between each other. So we just sort of need to understand this is the dedication of religious extremists who don't believe in peace with each other. They believe in creating a worldwide caliphate.
We've talked a lot about that on this program, and I want to dig a little deeper here. Do you think the West has any idea of the rivalry between the Shiites and the Sunnis?
No.
Okay.
So the basic difference for those who don't understand is that it goes, well, there's a couple of basic differences. But the big one is that they each believe who should be in charge, who's the direct descendant of Muhammad. And so, the Shiites believe that this person is, and then the Sunnis believe it should be elected a different way. That's one. The other is that there is this belief in Shia, which is what the Iranian Muslims are, whatever 90% of them are, which is they believe, for lack of a better term, a Messiah, they call him Mahdi. A Messiah is going to come back reincarnated from a 12th century cleric, and he's going to come back when either everything is great or everything is really horrible. So they're happy to have chaos. Iran is more than happy to have that. The other thing to understand is that Iran is not considered by the rest of the Middle East as Arabs. The Persians are not considered Arabs. They're a different culture. And so they're sort of separate from the Middle Eastern Arab nations, which is why you're now seeing what's happened in the last 3 days, that Iran is attacking some of these Arab Muslim nations, UAE, Saudi Arabia, etc., because they actually don't view themselves as being related.
So why did they do that? Is that just because they lack leadership and management and they're in panic, or was there a purpose behind that?
No, I think there's a purpose behind it. Again, they consider themselves Persian, not Arab, number one. But number two, they're Shia, not Sunni. And they believe in this concept of Mahdi, of if there's enough chaos, the Savior will come back. And that's a Shia belief, not a Sunni belief. So I think they're very happy to have that chaos.
There's a part of this, Rabbi Barkley, that's really kind of caught my eye. When it's been 10 days now, when the attack was initiated, of course, we know now that it was moved up a day because they discovered all of those people in one room. But the point is this thing was well organized weeks, if not months in advance, which tells me the decision was made. What do you think triggered that decision to go?
Look, I wish that decision had been made after October 7th when Biden was still in office, but that wasn't going to ever happen with the Biden administration.
Right.
I think what really triggered it to go is the realities had set in with the Trump administration that Netanyahu was right, that they were developing nuclear weapons. They did have chemical weapons, which they clearly had demonstrated on their own civilians. And the real factor that I think made a big shift is it became clear that Iran had made a deal for ballistic missiles with China. And if they got those ballistic missiles from China and they had payloads, they would use them. That's really not a question. So I think all those factors combined to come together. I think, we've had for a while this murmuring in Trump's ear. On the one side, Exit and Rubio. On the other side, Vance and Witkoff and Kushner. And I think it just sort of got realized, okay, you can't negotiate with these people. That's not who they are. That's not what they want. You can't negotiate with people who their starting position is, well, we just want you dead. That doesn't work. So I think that all kind of coalesced together to start planning this a number of weeks ago and make it very, very serious to take care of business.
Can you give us an indication what the average citizen in Israel is thinking these days? What is their resolve here?
I'm assuming you've been to Israel, yes?
Yes.
Okay. The nickname for an Israeli is a sabra, because a sabra is a cactus that has a sweet meat inside but is very prickly on the outside. Israelis have grown up and lived for years under a threat of war. Imagine that God forbid, we were having a 9/11 happening every couple of weeks, every couple of months. They've lived under that. The vast majority of Israelis just want to get this mission done, so it doesn't have to be done over and over and over again. Take out Iran, take out its proxies, so that we never have to deal with this, for generations. And they want to see that done. They all understand the threat of Iran, that you can't have nuclear weapons in the hands of these kind of people. You can't have ballistic missiles. All of Israel understands that. Even Lapid and Gantz, who are vowed enemies of Netanyahu, have said, right now, we're not. We're all on the same page. So I think the atmosphere, the attitude in Israel is tremendous. There's some wonderful videos. I think I may have posted one or two on X of people being in the bomb shelters and celebrating together because it's Shabbat, it's the Sabbath, or just because they're together and they're happy to be together. And they know that the great weapon, the great defensive weapon for Israel is not the Iron Dome or the Iron Beam, it's God. And they know that. So there's a strong attitude, I think, in Israel that just knows we got to get this job done and finish it and not have this issue anymore. And the big question is about what we're going to do in terms of regime change, if there's going to be one, who's going to be in charge of an Iran the day after.
I want to just kind of zero in on the proxies. There's still activity with Hezbollah, Houthis, and Hamas. Is that dwindling, and will that be totally extinguished?
Let's answer the second part of the question first. I believe it will be totally extinguished for a number of reasons. It is not dwindling. It's actually increasing. This whole ceasefire since Hamas, we went into a ceasefire with Hamas to finally get a hostage back. They've been just building tunnels. We have found them. They're just stockpiling weapons. We found them. We know that they've just been preparing for war. They have said repeatedly over and over they would have another October 7th 1,000,000 times until they can destroy Israel. Same with Hezbollah, same with the Houthis. It is suspected right now that because there was movement of rocket launchers in Yemen, This was in the last 24, 36 hours. And so it is suspected that the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas are trying to coordinate a simultaneous barrage at Israel. We'll find out if they do. We'll find out how successful or unsuccessful it is. I believe it's going to get uglier before it gets better, but they are going to be taken care of. I mean, that needs to be done. We should never have stopped for the ceasefire where they keep violating it, and we've done nothing in months. All it's allowed them to do, what Hamas to do, is to build up weapons. So it's dangerous, and I have faith in God, and I have faith that, in fact, Iran, the Houthis, all their proxies, they will be like a dust on the wind that passes through that we will remember in history.
Beautiful. Over the weekend, what's left of the regime in Iran announced that the son of Khamenei is now going to be the next leader. What does that mean? And then a report came out about 2 hours ago that they've discovered that he's wounded. Does that mean anything?
They have a council, for lack of a better way of phrasing it, that selected someone. In this case, they selected Khamenei's son, who is wounded from an initial attack. We don't know how badly he's wounded. They even said they were doing it to try and unify Iran. It says one thing up front that we know. It says that they're still going down the path they're going down. Mm-hmm. They're still going to do his father's path. They still believe that they're going to come after everybody, that's where they are. I don't foresee good things for the son. We'll see how well he does, or if he's just a puppet, which I suspect he will be. And I don't think he'll be in the leadership position that long.
Yeah.
Not the way that they're going right now without a real regime change.
Recently when we've seen some of the protests in the cities of Iran, Tehran, and others, you see now the original Iran flag flying alongside the Israeli flag, flying alongside the American flag. In fact, I saw one where they superimposed the Star of David over the Iran flag. What does that mean to you?
There is a history between the Persian and Jewish cultures that goes back thousands of years. Going back to the destruction of the first temple, the rebuilding of the second temple with Ezra and Nehemiah. We have a long, long history, and there is an integration of the Jewish culture in Iran. Our Talmud, we have two versions of the Talmud. One is called the Yerushalmi from Jerusalem. One is called the Babylonian Talmud, the Bavli, because it's from that part of the world. We have a long, long history. And if you talk to people who were in Iran or from Iran 48 years ago, before the Shah fell and the Ayatollahs came in, it was a beautiful, beautiful nation. And hopefully it will be again. There's a great culture from Iran, a great Persian culture, a great Persian Jewish culture. I'm very blessed to officiate a lot of weddings in the Persian Jewish community, which are these big weddings for 600, 700, 800 people. Wow. Wow. There's a level of joy and passion and wonder and magic and just gratitude for God and life. And so my hope is, I think many of our hopes, is that the two cultures will again be integrated in a way that is beautiful and enhances both and creates something bigger than either of the two pieces separately. There really is a great, great history between it, and we can only pray that it will happen again.
That's beautiful. The head of your international force over there in Israel announced over the weekend, and I say announced, he made the comment of how proud he is and how significant it is that President Trump showed up the way he has in connection with Israel, and the coexistence of these two militaries working together is something the world has never seen before. How's that resonating not only with you, but maybe the people in Israel?
Well, it's great with the people in Israel. Let's just accept that. I think, Israel's a huge fan of Donald Trump, much more so than people in this country. What he has done, there's really not a question. You can like Donald Trump, you can hate Donald Trump. You can think he's good on this issue or bad on this issue or whatever the issue may be. He has been the best president for Jews and for Israel in the history of this nation, bar none. And not just because of this, not just because of the Abraham Accords. He put anti-Semitism during his first administration as part of Title VI, which means any Jewish kid experiencing anti-Semitism, it's now a federal crime for that school to allow it to happen. He has been amazing for the Jewish people. He's realized that the Jewish people are the canary in the coal mine. He's a man of deep faith. He's immediately gone to the wall whenever he's been to Israel. He has been tremendous for our people in every way. And he's also smart enough to understand how important Israel is in the world dynamic, in the Middle Eastern dynamic. He's really done phenomenal things. I know a number of people who are Jewish and who really were not fans of him personally or would never vote for a Republican, and yet they have voted and supported him because they've realized, some of these people, that he has just been amazing for Israel and for the Jewish people.
Beautiful. Let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, Rabbi Michael Barclay is with us today. Check out his book called Sacred Relationship, Biblical Wisdom for Deepening Our Lives Together. There's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen. He does have a website, RabbiMichaelBarclay.com. Rabbi, is the book available online?
It's actually available online. It's about to be reissued. There's going to be 2 other books, God willing, this year that are coming. One, the Jewish view of abortion, and one in terms of the spiritual understanding of how to create, develop, and maintain a healthy relationship.
Well, you and I have a lot of future discussions. All right,
I'm all up for it.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride the greatest back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California, or book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
Okay, welcome back. What an honor to have with us today Rabbi Michael Barclay, spiritual leader of a temple there in Southern California. His book is a must-read called Sacred Relationships, Biblical Wisdom for Deepening Our Lives Together. There's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen. Check it out. He's got some more coming out, so I look forward to many discussions. He does have a website, RabbiMichaelBarclay.com, and the picture landing page. Rabbi, when President Trump kind of snuggled up the guitar, what was your feeling about that?
I have a problem with it. On the one hand, I have faith that he knows a lot more about negotiating than I ever will. And on the other hand, I have a lot of problems because Qatar is so influencing our collegiate system, our educational system. They're the biggest single donor to all of universities around the nation. I have problems that they are Islam, they are Muslim, and so I know what the Quran's goal says that they need to do. So I don't trust that. But I also, you elect a leader because you have faith that, in fact, he knows better than you do how to deal with foreign relations, as an example. So there is a certain level of faith that I have in him, and a lot of faith that I have that Qatar is not a good place in any way, shape, or form, as we've so clearly seen in terms of what they've sponsored domestically, the people that they've bought and paid for, some very big influencers like Mr. Carlson, things like that. So I'm not a big Qatar fan, but I also have faith that Trump knows what he's doing.
Did that push the pause button from Saudi Arabia joining the accord?
I actually don't know if it was Qatar, if it was a Saudi choice on their own, if it was concerns about Iran or Iranian proxies, or if it was just simply concerns of, is Trump going to be the president for another 4 years, or we're going to be saddled with Biden? It would have been very problematic for the Saudis had they become part of the Abraham Accords, and then immediately Joe Biden becomes the president, who was a waste of time in terms of he would never support anything, he'd never fight against Iran. And so the Saudis would have been perceived as if they had betrayed the rest of the Muslim nations. So I think they were kind of waiting to see what happened for a second term. And they're probably very grateful that they didn't join them at that time, because Biden did get into office and was incredibly ineffectual there.
How are you handling the rise of anti-Semitism in the United States?
I think, well, first of all, let me just preface it with a few things. I've written articles and believe that every Jew should know how to defend themselves and have firearms, not as a Second Amendment right, but as a religious obligation.
Wow.
But you make the comment, the rise in anti-Semitism. There's a rise in the acts of anti-Semitism, but the anti-Semitism has been there and hasn't changed. It was just more covert, it was more hidden, until you had in Congress people like Tlaib and Omar, and then until you had the crazies like Candace Owens. I mean, look, I was the first person in writing to call out both Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson as anti-Semites almost 2.5 years ago, right after October 7th. What's happened since October 7th is that people feel it's okay to express their anti-Semitism that they had inside. I don't know if there's an increase perhaps. You might remember, Perry, that back in November of 23, a man was killed at a rally. He was clocked across the head with a bullhorn and killed. A man named Paul Kessler, blessed memory. That was a half mile from our congregation. So I think that we, need to stand up to it. I'm very clear, from Hanukkah time, if you're not sure where the rabbi's house is, I put up a big 10-foot inflatable dreidel. Just in case you're not sure, here I am. You have a problem with me? Here I am. We have armed security at every event we do, as most synagogues do, both showing armed security and a lot of people who have CCWs. And I think that on a certain level, every human being needs to recognize, are you a sheep, are you a wolf, or a sheepdog? And I have that commitment to be the latter, and I suggest that all Jews be the latter, the last one. We need to step up. We are to be light upon to the nations, not just spiritually, but that includes our obligation to take care of ourselves physically. I hope it didn't sound too harsh.
No, it's refreshing. I guess the question I had, you answered it, but at your synagogue, you're having armed guards when you have temple, right?
Always. Always. But we've always had them. We have more now. They're more visible, but we've always had armed security at our synagogue. Many very large synagogues, what most people, even the congregants don't know, is under the pulpit, what we call the bima, the stand that the rabbi is standing behind. Many very large synagogues, they have, for the senior rabbi, a panic button. So if something happens, he just presses the button, the police immediately are there.
Wow.
Most congregants don't even know that exists.
Wow.
This is not new. We have had to take care of ourselves for a long time. People think that Chabad is what Judaism is. It's actually a very minor, small part of Judaism. But mainstream synagogues, we've been dealing with this for a very long time and making sure that we have security. Now it's just more intense. That's all.
Amazing. Do you have any idea? It's kind of an off-the-wall question, so pardon me if I ask this. Do you have any idea what happened to Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me.
I've written articles about this. I'm a columnist for PJ Media.
Right.
And so people can go to PJ Media. They can go to therabbistable.com and find things. Tucker Carlson, you need to understand, is a tortured human being. Let's just start with that. This is a man whose mother abandoned him, who was at a school where they didn't even have Jews. He's always had problems. Rush Limbaugh apparently said that Tucker Carlson has no values and he's like a chameleon. He will always change. In, I want to say January 24, December of 23, something like that, Tucker Carlson is having a dialogue with Candace Owens, where he compares the fentanyl crisis to what happened October 7th. And in that moment, I knew he was an anti-Semite, because although they're both tragedies, one, people were raped and killed by an outside force. The other is people making a choice. And just kept going down from there. Then you look at his history. A company called Luminate pays for him to go to Qatar. He interviews the prime minister. Now he comes back, and now he's totally anti-Israel, hates Israel, loves Qatar. So Qatar is friendly to Christians. You can't even be a public Christian in Qatar. There are no churches. If there's, I think, one church in a very specific area, so he comes back saying, "I'm going to buy property in Qatar." So obviously, there's some sort of payments going on in some way. Additionally, if you look at the interview that he did with Mike Huckabee, throughout the interview, Tucker is at sudden points inappropriately laughing. And about not just the laughter pops out maniacally, and it's when there's things that doesn't make sense to laugh about. Oh, isn't it horrible about the poor children that are dying out there? It's really, really problematic. That kind of behavior is symptomatic of one of three things: either mental illness, a neurological problem, or an addiction. So I think one of those three things is going on as well, because that maniacal laughing in inappropriate places, and again, I wrote an article about this as well for PJ, is really a sign of one of either mental illness, neurological problems, or addiction. So I think all of those things have combined and created this man who is just one of the most dangerous people on the planet. He has more followers than there are Jews on the planet. Going around and blaming Israel and lying, and it's just really sad. But I don't think he's ever had any ethics. I think he has always been a man that, as Rush Limbaugh had said, was a chameleon.
I'm sorry I had to ask that question, but at the same time, we need to know it. We need to know it. I'd like to know from a Jewish perspective how he's being received, because I think at one time, he had a huge audience and he was Mr. Conservative, and then all of a sudden, wham, he goes off, and I'm going, wow, what happened? So.
Yeah, he's not the only one of these social influencers who've been like that.
Yeah.
Again, Candace has done the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And her story is not dissimilar in terms of, if you really look at her history, of always being a chameleon, going wherever the money was. She's never been a person of ethics or morals or beliefs or values.
Yeah. Rabbi, you're absolutely fascinating. Can we get you back?
I'd be honored.
Well, you're fascinating. I'm kind of taken by you. So let me say to our viewers and listeners, take a look at his book, The Sacred Relationship, Biblical Wisdom for Deepening Our Lives Together. His website is RabbiMichaelBarley.com. There's a picture of that page. The other two books you're working on are what now?
One's on developing a spiritual relationship, how to do that. One is on the Jewish take on abortion, which is perceived by most people as not what it really is. Our take is actually much more similar to an evangelical or Catholic take on abortion than people realize. The other thing is, if I may, we actually, after many years of being asked, I finally agreed to do a radio show and podcast, and that starts this week. It'll be out this coming weekend. It is our first inaugural guest will be Ambassador David Friedman, the former U.S. ambassador to Israel during the first Trump administration.
Yeah.
And it's called The Rabbi's Table. You can go to, I believe, you just press pound 250 on your phone, find my podcast, The Rabbi's Table. That's all going to be happening. It's starting this week. We have some terrific guests who are going to be coming on to talk about what's going on in the world through a spiritual lens, not through a political one.
The Rabbi's Table. Well, congratulations. Look forward to it. And I've had Ambassador Friedman on a couple of occasions. What a fascinating guy. And for you to get him as your inaugural podcast, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you. I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be, one of the shows we have scheduled on, I think it's the third or fourth week, is with a dialogue. Do you know Robert Spencer?
Know of it.
Okay, so Robert Spencer is sort of the world's expert on the Quran as a political document. Dr. Amir Hussain, who's sort of is an academic from Loyola, a former colleague, who's sort of the expert on the Quran as a spiritual document. Amir wrote a book called Oil and Water, How Christianity and Islam Can Mix. They're going to have a dialogue together, a respectful dialogue that I'll moderate, that's not going to be a fight or clicking, but rather how do these two different versions integrate? We need to stop polarizing. We need to be able to disagree without being disagreeable.
Amen. I agree. Well, for you, shalom. God bless you, and let's stay connected, friend.
That would be great. And it's so nice to spend time with you. And thank you again for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
In so many ways.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, God bless.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Thank you to our Dove partners for your faithful support. You make it possible for the gospel to be broadcast 24/7 on TV and radio, not only locally, but also around the world online at theDove.us. Thank you. Your faithful giving to the Dove is touching lives here and now, but more importantly, for eternity. Thank you for keeping the Dove encouraging and informative. We can't do it without you. More at theDove.us.
Well, welcome back. And I've been looking forward to our special guest today, Robert Ehringer. He's a longtime investigative journalist and intelligence operative who served as the intelligence advisor to Prince Albert II of Monaco, where he helped establish the Principality's first intelligence service with nearly 5 decades of investigative reporting and intelligence work, including undercover assignments for the FBI counterintelligence. He now writes and speaks about corruption, power, secrecy, and global elites. He's the author of a fascinating book called The Spy Master of Monaco, The Tales of Royalty, Espionage, and Betrayal. Wow. There's a picture of the cover on the book. He does have a place where you can connect with him, Robert Ehringer, that's ERINGER.substack.com. theDove.com. So a lot going on there. Robert, good to see you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for that lovely introduction.
Well, thank you. Where are you? Where are we talking to you from?
I'm in sunny Montecito, California, right next to Santa Barbara.
Okay, I know exactly where that is. Nice to have you. Boy, where do I start with you? I mean, I think we all suspect corruption. The big three is power, money and sex. And you recently spoke out about how Congress voted to block the release of the internal records related to misconduct investigation among Congresspeople. How significant is that block?
That block is, I think it's very important that it happens, that somebody needs to do something about insider trading in Congress. It's not really my area, but interestingly, I always thought Monaco was perhaps the most corrupt place I'd ever been. But lately, just watching the news here in the United States and watching what's been going on in Congress, as you mentioned, and Minnesota, and I'm sure right here in California, corruption is so rampant. It makes me wonder how I ever would go to Monaco and try to counsel them on how they had to clean up their act, especially when I was working closely with the CIA and also the FBI, and they were trying to assist when the very same thing goes on in our own backyard.
My brain's on tilt with this whole Epstein deal, this whole Epstein case and files. The Democrats had it for 4 years, didn't do anything. The Republicans now have it, and the Democrats are screaming at it, release it. Some say yes, some say no. Then it gets redacted. What's really going on here? Do you know?
A good indication of what's really going on is what happens now with Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. The state of New Mexico, the Attorney General there, Raul Torres, has pledged to investigate something that should have been investigated 6-7 years ago. The FBI raided Epstein's homes in New York, Palm Beach, and of course the infamous Little James Island, St. James Island. But for some reason, Zorro Ranch was left alone. And this is quite an amazing structure way out in New Mexico, way away from the city, where as early as 2019, there were tips to the FBI that there may be bodies buried, the bodies of 2 foreign women who were sexually trafficked to Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. What happens there should be a fascinating development. It's been long in the making, and whether anything happens or not will be the true test of how serious the elites and the politicians truly are about getting to the bottom of Jeffrey Epstein and all that he did.
You think we'll ever know?
Like I said, I don't know. Right now, at the last I heard, the Attorney General has requested all of the Epstein files unredacted from the FBI as his starting point. So what happens? Does the DOJ comply and give him what he needs? And if he doesn't get what he needs, does that mean he's not going to go searching around a place that should have had cadaver dogs wandering around 6-7 years ago? It's anyone's guess. Up until recently, I think Governor Bill Richardson, or rather former Governor Bill Richardson, who is no longer with us, perhaps was extremely influential in seeing that the investigation of Zorro Ranch was suppressed. And that would be because Virginia Giuffre, who accused Prince Andrew, now just plain Andrew, of having sex with her when she was only 17, we now know that's true, made the very same accusations against former Governor Bill Richardson. So he would have every reason to use his influence in the state of New Mexico to assure that Zorro Ranch did not get investigated. However, Richardson died in September of 2023, so perhaps does not have that very same influence, unless there were other officials, senior officials in New Mexico involved. Really, based on their records so far, both New Mexico and DOJ and the FBI in investigating Epstein, I don't have high hopes about ever getting to the bottom of everything.
Do you think, from just the way you work and what you see and how this case has been handled, that foreign leaders and maybe even our State Department's been compromised?
It's quite possible. I mean, there was senior Israeli politician who was implicated, and there's, based on the files that have since been released, every indication that he probably did partake in trafficked young women, even minors. And I think that, and especially in Britain, where you had the Trade and Industry Secretary, Peter Mandelson, his house was recently raided by the police because it was believed, based on what they released in the files, that he had supplied Epstein with all kinds of confidential secret information that violated Britain's Official Secrets Act. He's in a lot of trouble now. So is formerly Prince Andrew, for doing the same thing when he was Britain's trade envoy. So it already has had an impact on foreign leaders. Maybe there are others. I think the DOJ needs to come through with with the law that was passed in Congress and release everything. And aside from just masking the identities of victims, they need to unredact many of those pages, which seem to be not just victim identities, but perhaps many, many more details that would reveal the names of people that you're suggesting could be involved.
Wow. Back to your time being an intelligence advisor to Prince Albert II there in Monaco. What a job. And yet, were you shocked what you saw?
I was in awe most of the time. At the very beginning, of course, quite excited about putting together for him an intelligence agency. The problem is that the reason Prince Albert brought me in when he was the hereditary prince, when he was not yet in charge, was because he had not been informed about anything that was going on. I think he had father issues, or rather his father had son issues, and was not teaching him about the mechanics of the principality. Monaco's government kept him in the dark. They sent him off, traveled a lot to all over the world, meeting world leaders, but never was briefed by Monaco or by the French on who he was meeting, what they were like. And it was left to me to do that when he retained me at first to be his intelligence advisor in June 2002. So I was shocked to start with that he was so badly misinformed. And I took it upon myself, with his permission, to visit the CIA and MI6 in Britain and ask for their assistance to come brief Albert and myself, especially when he was going off on a trip to meet a foreign leader. So I created liaison relationships with both of those intelligence services, and that went a long way to ensuring that Albert at least was informed. But to answer your question more directly, yes, when it finally came time, when Albert ascended the throne, his father, Prince Rainier III, passed in April of 2005, and Albert was, I'd say, suddenly thrust into that role, except his father had been ill for some time. He should have been better prepared. Unfortunately, Albert was never well prepared for anything, even after I arrived on the scene. But then it came upon me to investigate the various ministers that he wanted to vet, those already running ministries and those who he might consider bringing in to run Monaco's government. And it is then that I discovered widespread, rampant corruption everywhere. It shouldn't have surprised me, because Monaco was created by pirates in 1297 and has always been a corrupt state. Albert wanted to clean the place up, which is another one of his primary reasons for bringing me in. And when I saw the extent of it all, I was astounded. And in the end, Albert gave up. He just did not clean up Monaco, did not do what he said he was going to do. They fought back. They managed to get his chief of staff fired, a man who had been aligned with me to work with Albert to clean the place up. And once that happened, I saw the writing on the wall. And as it turned out, Albert realigned himself with corrupt interests to a point where it got him in serious trouble down the road years after I left his employ, when it was discovered that the ministers, especially the justice minister, who I implored him not to appoint, was fired, was resigned in disgrace when he was exposed by the French media of rampant corruption.
Just one quick question before I take a break. Was the son, was he shocked when you first started revealing to him the corruption?
I don't think he was shocked. I think he was dismayed. And the man who had been groomed to be his chief of staff, who was the son of the man who had been Prince Rainier's chief of staff and who headed the finance ministry, we deemed to be very corrupt. And Albert, to his credit, bypassed him and went around him and hired a man who we vetted, who we thought was very, very good.
All right, let me take a quick break. Let me say to our viewers and listeners this story. He's got it in a book called The Spy Master of Monte Carlo, Tales of Royalty, Espionage, and Betrayal. There's a picture of the cover of the book. Robert, can they get that online?
It's already available pre-order on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all of the other internet booksellers, and it is officially published on March 19th.
Well, congratulations. And check out Robert Ehringer.substack.com. There's a picture of that landing page. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
Hi, welcome back and enjoying our time together with Robert Ehringer. He's a longtime investigative journalist. He worked there for the Prince Albert II of Monaco as an intelligence agent. He's got a book that tells all about it. It's called The Spy Master of Monte Carlo, Tales of Royalty, Espionage, and Betrayal. Just what little we've talked about today is just astounding. Robert, given your background of investigation and intelligence, we have now seen unbelievable corruptions at all levels of government. We saw it with DOGE being exposed. Now we see it in Illinois to the tune of maybe $19 billion. And we're saying that is nothing compared to what may be happening and exposed in California under Governor Newsom. Do you think he's corrupt?
Do I think Governor Newsom himself is corrupt?
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be, because although he tries to portray himself as coming from a kind of almost poverty-stricken background, that's actually quite the opposite of what's true. He was pretty much brought up by the Getty oil family, and has always done extremely well, whether they're supported him in business and certainly in politics. He's a product of the elite and has become the elite. Corrupt. I think there is a lot of corruption in California, and unfortunately, he's been sitting in office while a lot of it has been going on. It remains to be seen what gets exposed now that the focus is on California.
Okay, I guess we'll see how that as it unwinds. Back in Washington, D.C., when Doge was in full swing, we saw a lot of corruption. From your perspective, maybe it's a 30,000-foot view, how bad is Washington, D.C.?
Well, I lived there all through the 90s, and I had a sense working undercover for the FBI just in how bad shape the bureaucracies are, and the protocol involved, how slow everything is. It's all about process. It's rarely about outcome. I think they call it the deep state. I got a taste of insider Washington, which is really true. It's the permanent employees of Washington institutions that really run the place. Presidents come and go and rarely have enough time to really get a grip on their office and what it is they try to accomplish, not least because they also have Congress to deal with. But permanent Washington, insider Washington, as I call it, run circles around the Oval Office, except in the case now of President Trump, who is an outcome president, an activist president, rather than being all about process. And I'll give you an example of that. I mean, somebody will get elected to the White House, they get there, they have all these wonderful ideas, and they want to change things, and all of a sudden these representatives of various institutions show up and explain to him all the reasons that won't work, because they're very pro status quo, and they just like things to go on as they always have. That's process. Trump, on the other hand, has certain ideas, and during his first term, he got the runaround, I believe, and was ready for a second term 4 years after he was out of office to go in there and really do what he wanted to do, paying very little attention to those who serve the process and who always, the naysayers who say, no, sir, that can't be done, and here's why.
How consequential has his second term been?
Well, I think it's quite amazing what he's done. Most recently with Venezuela, and now in Iran, he's flexed his muscle, and he's shown that the United States of America is the world power, and he's left Russia and China, our greatest adversaries, in horror as to how willing he is to flex his muscle. Sadly, their strategy is wait them out. I think that's why they haven't really tried to do anything about Iran, other than Russia's feeble attempt to supply so-called intelligence to the Iranians. But they know the American system, and Putin and Xi are there for as long as they choose to be, maybe years and years and years. And they know we're governed by election cycles. And I do believe that China and Russia's strategy is just to bide their time, flatter Trump as much as they can, because they learned that that's what's important here. And eventually they'll be dealing with another administration that won't be so outcome oriented.
That's very interesting. When we look at government, we see all these agencies that demand transparency, but when it comes to an audit, they don't want it. What does that tell you?
It tells you they're wasting a lot of taxpayer money for a start. It's. I mean, you got corruption, that's one thing, and then you got waste, and the combination's a killer.
this is just amazing. Do you think we'll ever get to the bottom of corruption in Illinois?
Well, I think we've made strides in Minnesota, and I think they've exposed it.
Oh,
now
Minnesota,
that,
yes, excuse me.
Governor of Minnesota is not going to run for re-election again. Remains to be seen how Pritzker reacts to federal probes in Illinois, and whether it means he is doomed, as Tim Walz was doomed by such revelations. And same with Gavin Newsom, who, as we know, has presidential aspirations. Hopefully they'll get to the bottom of whatever corruption exists in California, and that'll be the end of Gavin Newsom's campaign. Can you imagine the whole country being run the way California has been run? All you got to do is take a look at the fires that took place in Pacific Palisades and other parts of LA. They were not prepared for it. They should have been, because these natural disasters are common in California. You got to be prepared. And then there's so much red tape to rebuild. There are people who have been waiting for months and months and months and months for permits to just rebuild what they once had.
So I guess California is a beautiful state. I'm originally from there years ago, but the point being is it's gotten so crazy down there. You're a citizen now. Will it survive?
Maybe without me. I've been meaning to leave here since I got caught up in the Montecito mudslide 8 years ago. That should have been my exit right there. But of course, there were so many loose ends to tie up, and with family obligations, etc. I still haven't moved from here, but I keep meaning to. Along with a lot of other people who have left, and for Texas, Florida, and I got good friends who've gone to Idaho. So, yeah.
Okay. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Robert's book. I think you'll find it to be an amazing read. It's called The Spy Master of Monte Carlo, Tales of Royalty, Espionage, and Betrayal. There's a picture of the cover there on the book. It comes out. There's early orders available, so you can check that out. I think you'll find that to be a fascinating read. You can check in with his work at Robert Eringer.
Hold on a moment, please.
That's called eringer.substack.com. Robert, you're fascinating. Let's stay connected. As Illinois and well, let's see, what else do we have? These other states, Michigan and others, begin to unwind. California, it'd be interesting to see what your take is on some of this corruption, if it ever really comes out.
If it really comes out.
Yeah. Nice to see you. Thanks for your time, friend.
Thank you for having me, Perry. Have a great day. Bye.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive